Wait, something's missing!
Hi. How do? That was so much snappier than the previous intro, because I was waiting for you to do something for like 2 minutes last time, I remember. I hope the audio balance is good, guys. Tell me if it isn't. The desktop audio might be too loud, I'm not sure. But I'm keeping the headphones over there so that we can focus and you can have a very fleshed out experience. Need I explain?
I'm sorry, I have to fix my shirt.
How are we doing in chat? Guess we're just restarting then. I'm afraid we are smart. That reminds me, chat. And it seems like, well, I'm not going to jinx it, but like, Jesus. The stream died before it even started. We're less than 1 minute in, still on the screen. And yeah, I've updated it so the proper one's on screen now. I've got my phone here, obviously, so I can check on you guys. Yes, Mark, 1 sub of 250. It's real. It's happening. Me finally reaching, 250. I've been living in the shadows. This is better than having it split halfway through. I absolutely agree, Olivia. That was a bit stressful, but I would rather it like splits and like shits itself now than like halfway through and forcing me to re-upload, because this way it was 1 minute in. That was basically nothing. It was just music and the start. So yeah, I'm actually really glad the split happened then. It might have been a bad stream key because that's what I changed, and I switched back to the primary YouTube server, so it might have been the backup ones being weak. But either way, as DJ's saying, so now it's time to theorize.
Although this time we're not quite doing just theories, we're gonna discuss some theories, we're gonna discuss some headcanons and discuss some AUs, because we've already done a lot of theory stuff, a lot of canon stuff last time. So we figured, like after we had some theories, we had some fact checking, we had some origin stories.
Yeah.
We could do some more opinionated stuff.
Exactly. It's all summarized in the description, guys. The first one was how we met, some basic timeline stuff. The second one was the deep lore of the books, the novels, and how that fixes things like FNaF 4 and sister location. But now we're going to be a little bit meta. What I'm going to show you on screen, I don't need to show you much on screen, so you probably won't see this much. Maybe I should add it to the chat screen, the QOTD, I'm not sure. I didn't put that in the survey, did I? But we'll get back to that in due time. This is the second of the 2 exceptions to the hiatus. Give us your best headcanon, alright? And I'll be asking this throughout. That's today's QOTD. Whoever gives us the best headcanon wins a shout out. And what I wanted to show you was this. Debate stab wrecked. I am... Yeah, okay, so the plan, alright? So again, this is like a summary of what was different. We're going to be going over facts and then speculations and opinions, and we've got a list of things to do here. We're going to start with a handful of theories to review, and you are welcome to suggest your own theories for us to review, given, a reasonable amount of time. The stream shouldn't go over 2 hours. We'll have a look and like kind of evaluate that for ourselves, so we're looking at those, and then some headcanons and kind of thinking about what's a good story, what's not a good story, what's interesting, what's not interesting, what is ridiculous and shouldn't be taken seriously, and what is ridiculous and should be taken seriously, plus the redemption AU, which we'll get to, okay? So, excuse me, that mouse is a little bit, the clicky's a little bit stuck. So, yeah, that's all you really need to know, fellas. So, hey, how you doing? How we doing in chat? Who's here? Savage Smog. I think I'm gonna refresh because chat doesn't update sometimes for me. Yeah, it wasn't updating then. So,
SMH.
SMH. Yeah, so this is an SMH my head trademark, certified, copyrighted. So yeah, Smog, Livy, DJ, Olivia, both Livies. No, we never call it. Yeah, but yeah, FNaF World Music is a bop. I'm glad you agree. The music is still going. That is intentional. The music should be on shuffle. The music is not on shuffle. Let me switch it up. The music is now on shuffle, so you'll start getting a variety. Yeah. And yeah, the music's a bit loud. I'll turn it down. Yeah, so we'll turn the music down. It's still louder than the mic, but the mic is very sensitive. People complain my voice is too loud. It is. I need to fix that. So hopefully this is it. Mike's chewing gum flavor, the most important questions being asked here.
Come on, I mean, this is affecting canon, guys.
Yeah,
this is absolutely...
It's changing my life. I'm gonna write an entire AU where everything is exactly the same, but Michael has coffee flavored chewing gum. How is that even possible? I don't know. But, now everyone thinks it's disgusting except him because it's the only thing that keeps his dead body awake. How does that even work? No one knows, alright, but it doesn't matter. And then, what's going on? Wait.
There's
that chat is updating quicker than this one. You know what I might do? Get off my phone. No, but I need the preview. I'll keep it on my phone, but I'll actually just use chat on screen. There we go. Yeah, we've got chat on screen. Here we go. Oh, I can keep up way better. Okay, so yeah, the chat takes longer to update on mobile. I can actually read it quicker here, and because this is a debate direct, I might as well read it here. Isn't Cassidy a girl? Good question.
Cassidy can be a girl name, but it doesn't necessarily need to be. Also, that's one of the things we're going to discuss today. Simply because, like, yeah, we don't know who Cassidy is, and Cassidy might have been, like, you know, was a girl in the novels, but who knows about the games?
Indeed. The audio is good now, thank you, GJ. And honestly, coffee flavor could be nice. I'm not sure. Chewing gum is an odd combo, but maybe it works.
But if it has coffee flavor, it should never ever have menthol in it.
Wait,
that would be a nasty mix.
But just for the taste, or was there something missing?
No, the taste.
Okay.
It's like, just menthol and coffee don't go together.
Well, just make sure we're not off-centering the camera or anything. Let's keep chat up on that side, and here's the reviews. Here's the theories to review. So, fellas, oh my god. Sorry, I'm taking a second to set this up. In fact, no, we can go full screen now. So, Lucie, first of all, it's nice to have you back in person. No one's talking about this because I think a lot of people already knew. Our followers might have had an idea. The people in the Redemption AU server, her Discord with Olivia, who's also getting a shout, right? Olivia's important. We'll get back to that. They already knew. But I wanted to keep it a surprise for you guys. And yeah, this is why I'm on hiatus, because Loki on holiday. But yeah, we're meeting IRL for the third time, finally, which is obviously more difficult than you'd think given COVID and everything, but you know, we're in a bit of a trough in like terms of, you know, the statistics and everything now. It doesn't matter. She's here, guys. She's real. You are a human. What are you?
A Hooben sandwich? I don't know. You keep doing this meme at me and expect me to say whatever you said, plus sandwich.
No, wait.
And I questioned the sanity behind it several times.
Okay, human sandwich is really bad. Quick. You are a theorist. What are you?
Theorist sandwich?
Heck yeah. Okay, let's stop messing around. So, fellas, just killed the wound, feeling good. Okay, Smog. And UCM music, nice. So, let's get talking. So the first thing we're here to talk about is the dream theory. Now, something that's always been quite interesting with FNaF is that, well, there are theories that come and go. Every new release, at least with the original 7 or so, 8 if you include World, changed the story a bit. Not just adding on, but retroactively. What?
Good luck, Olivia!
Olivia! I forgot! Yes! Interview for, what was it, the apprenticeship? Please, good luck. I'm wishing you the best, bro. Alright? Yes. I'll drink to that.
Same.
Socially distanced. No, don't worry.
Yeah, we've been very, very careful about all of this.
Trust me. So, the, what was I thinking? So the dream theory, okay? The dream theory... Hard mode switching for... Yeah, the hard mode switch. Sorry, I'm not focused. So, originally, when there were only 4 FNaF games, what was hinted at was a dream theory. MatPat went over this, you know, he's like the number one theorist everyone would, you know, look for FNaF content with. You know, he's explained that actually there's a lot of hints in 4 at there being... It'll being just a dream. And like, if we ignore the fact that, oh, that's like a cheap out, but then again, maybe it would work for FNaF, you know, it's pretty interesting. Like, does it actually work? Because there are a lot of things that were connected with the first 3 games, right? The first one was very much focused on the animatronics and the suits. The second one was like the toys. There were toy animatronics, and even Chica was missing a beak in like the playground on 3 Days Until the Party. And then you've got in FNaF 3, it's all about like spring locks and the safe rooms and all like the, you know, behind the scenes stuff with the suits. And there's like clear connections. You got like Plush Trap is like, well, you know, the like, you know, inspiration of Springtrap. And obviously like Foxy was always a bit different from the others because the child who's in a coma having these nightmares, according to the theory, in FNaF 4, is also dreaming the other 3 games, and like, Foxy is, his brother with the mask and everything. But there's a few holes in it, that's the thing. I went over this in Uncovered. If anyone, I know some of you sat through the entirety of that, which I'm amazed at, thank you, which was obviously my, theory document. The dream theory doesn't explain everything, because naturally you'd think there'd be pieces of all the 3 games in FNaF 4. There's lots of small things which aren't really accounted for as loosely as you as you might have it, connect. Think of the puppet. Are you on your phone?
Sorry, a friend was having trouble. A friend wanted to join the stream, but she couldn't because something got in the way.
It's fine.
She messaged me about it.
It's sad, it's an F. But, you know how there's the puppet's not in FNaF 4?
Yeah,
right? At all?
Outside of the night, there's the nightmare mode or something.
The Halloween
edition. Yeah, because the nightmare on.
I completely forgot about that. But this is the problem. Scott said the Halloween edition wasn't canon, but Nightmare BB was added to the base game, which was canon. It was so weird, and he's never explained this since. But it's according to the dream theory, it makes sense that Nightmare Mangle, Nightmare Marion, they would all be there. So you do kind of wonder, how do you explain that? And there's also, the fact that there's so much detail, the fact that there's so much connected, and it's all just a dream. I think the dream theory, looks like the easy option at first, but it's ultimately a really weak theory, even if you don't take into account sister location and everything onwards, because there's a few big holes in it, and it's it doesn't really give you closure. I mean, FNaF 4 didn't give us closure in any way, shape or form. Nothing can really do that. But it's the dream theory, it still doesn't feel complete, that it's all conveniently in the mind of a child.
It also feels a bit weak in terms of plot in general, because what's the point of making such a convoluted storyline when in the end I just go and pretty much gloss over all the holes in it and go, it's just a dream, guys.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter anyways.
Again, I think DJ summed it up fairly well. It could have worked, but it's definitely been, completely destroyed after sister location, which is why it's an old theory. We don't think about it, Now, next up is Foxy a good guy? I mean, maybe. Headcanon. Foxy. No, AU. What if Foxy was the good guy? Chat's not updating on it, that's annoying. But, yeah. The next one's pretty interesting. You know what? You can lead this one. I've been doing all the talking.
Well, it depends on what you define as... Oh, the next... ha 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 ha. I thought we were still... Okay. Next theory is, Ballora equals Mrs. Afton. So is Ballora Mrs. Afton? There's been a lot of debate, and a lot of people are like, oh no. Hi, you did it, you made it, hi.
May.
I didn't think you would.
Hey, nice to meet you, May. Lucy was telling me that you were going to come watch the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, we were just talking about, because what we're doing now is moving from historical theories, unless there's anything you guys would like to suggest, to stuff that's still debated, and side stuff that, wouldn't really make or break the timeline, but is worth considering. So yeah, is Ballora Mrs. Afton? Because we've never really had much in the way of any hint towards William Afton's wife and the mother of these children, other than Clara and the Immortal and the Restless. But then some people think it wouldn't make sense for her to be Ballora. What do you think on all this?
I think, considering that we've never seen her, but we know that William Afton had children, and clearly, there was a family dynamic going on, I think it's not out of the question that it could be, especially with Ballora's voice lines, where she keeps hinting at that she knows a lot more about William's, private life than anyone else does, or ever offered so far. I feel the entire Phantom animatronics were all kind of built in a perfect family kind of image.
Oh yeah, she worked out something really clever telling the allegory, because I never noticed this.
There's a lot of parallels that I've spotted. At least it's my interpretation. For example, Funtime Freddy. He's got the hand puppet he talks to, and that talks to him. He's constantly on and about birthday parties and birthday boy, and seeing things in the dark. I feel like that's a reference to the bite victim. Mm-hmm. Then you have
his
Baby,
bonbon plush Fredbear.
Yeah. Then you have Circus Baby as the daughter. Funtime Foxy, hardly much of a personality, but I feel like it might be.
But Reconnections was successful. Please? Stop freaking with me. Oh my god, I was worried it was going to split again. That would have been a peeve.
Is the chat one?
I swear, if I have to re-upload this, okay, that's still going.
Is the chat still open?
Chat, are we still open? We're still working?
No, not on that, on PC. Because
yeah, that should still be working. Yeah, so...
Hi.
Yeah, this should be still working. Sorry, guys. The Wi-Fi dips sometimes. It's a real peeve. But,
Yeah. Bellaura's voice lines. There's, the
let's
song
finish off on this. So, yeah, that's about, like, she sees, like, it's, why do you hide inside your room?
Inside your walls. When there's music in my halls.
Is the man empty too? I can't remember the lines.
I can remember the line. Haha. Why do you hide inside your walls? When there's music in my halls. All I see is an empty room. No more joy in empty tomb.
But the point is that she's seeing, like, and the empty room could be a reference to the girl's bedroom in FNaF 4, and like the loss of Elizabeth, which is what Sister Location was all about. It was Elizabeth's origin story and how she fused with Circus Baby. And also, like, the fact that Bellaura's like an adult human is really specific. There's no animatronic like her. Like, Balloon Boy comes closest, and he was always an oddball.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, they don't fit into like the furry animal gang, and like a Circus Baby was like built for Elizabeth, so that's kind of explained. But Bellaura just kind of exists. And then in UCN, she's always been quite seductive.
Yeah.
All right. Like, yeah. But in UCN, she has some lines which are like. There's like, you know, I could hear you breathing. It's like, why do you hide inside your walls? That references it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just to me, I really think that it's something that's not really important to the main story, which is why it's only touched on peripherally. But it's like the idea that Bellaura's contains the remnant of William's wife, or is at least based on his wife. I think there's something there, whether she's possessing Bellaura, whether she died in an accident or childbirth of the last child, or William killed her to stop her, like, whistleblowing him, or if she just, like, left, but, like, William designed Bellaura's personality with whatever child remnant's been infused with her to be like his wife. I'm not sure exactly, but I think all of those are possible, and, like, all of those theories are worth reviewing in detail.
Yeah.
I'm really curious what you guys think.
Also, Elite Robo, absolutely, I agree on that. There's like vague hints, but not quite. It's not really like enough evidence to tell, which is why we wanted to review this in this stream, because it's not that clear. And yeah, when Baby says like she wants to kill you, like specifically Bellaura, I feel like, you know, that's part of her manipulative scheme, because
Yes.
she originally, like, this whole scheme is addressed at William and his issues and his past, but she's actually doing this with Michael, which also kind of works because they were in the same family, but she doesn't know.
Which I do want to just catch up with chat. So, you know, this is a weird detail, DJ, but yeah, I think it's possible those characters, those nightmare characters from the Halloween edition, weren't canon in FNaF 4 Halloween edition, but were in UCN, which is really weird. But then you've got Old Man Consequences, which is a whole can of worms we'll look at another time. Nightmare BB being canon, like with the fact that he's with the Wizards and Mangle in the Curse of Dreadbear minigame, Trick or Treat, I think that was another hint that basically BB existed at the original location as some kind of side character like L Chip, with the gang way before FNaF 2, because he's actually like wood rather than plastic.
Yeah.
And maybe like these nightmares are just ideas that were never actually built or envisioned, but that's why they can exist in UCN. UCN's a whole weird thing. I think it's like, you know, Cassidy using William's fears, especially with Nightmarion, and Nightmare BB being canon, and those two being like the main antagonists of that game.
Yeah. Also,
I don't know.
BB and Foxy and, well, some other, like Chica.
The Misfits?
And,
or what are we talking about?
No, I'm getting towards the Phantoms.
Oh!
Yeah, because like those are also like all the Phantoms, and I feel like in overall they all represent William's fears in a way, and are kind of like, I guess, an extension of his own consciousness in the way that they don't actively affect you physically, but they affect you emotionally when you're playing the game.
Yeah, it is weird. I just want to keep the pace up, so I'm going to read everything else. Have you seen people saying that Michael is a crying child? Like, people keep thinking he's the crying child. I think this is the one mega mistake MatPat's made, because with almost all of his theories, if it's not like something that's really believable, it's something really clever. But like, I think it's a fundamental mistake to say that the bite victim, the crying child from FNaF 4 is Michael. Based on the fact that Michael was the player in FNaF 4 because of the survival logbook, and the fact that his age would line up with the bully brother, who, if he isn't, kind of just disappears. We don't know what the explanation for that is. It makes a lot more sense that he's the older one and that the younger is Cassidy, the one you should not have killed, and there's a load of evidence for that in UCM. But yeah, I do think that's a bit of a fallacy.
Yeah. And not only that, the only reason Matt Pat had that theory at all was because he read the novels and was like, oh, what if, actually the reason he survived was because he was already a robot, and what if, the bite was what killed him, and then William built him a robot body, and that's why he survived the scooper. But I think that's absolutely bollocks.
Robots don't rot.
Yeah, first of all that, and also it's just considering what the scooper does, which is infusing a body with souls.
Like an inanimate object.
Yeah, an inanimate object with soul energy.
Soul juice.
Yeah, if you want to call it that.
Juice.
Okay. I feel like it's much more likely. Don't joke.
Keep talking.
It's much more likely that the scooper basically just locked Michael's soul in his corpse, and that's why he's still alive.
And there might be bits of metal from Ennard still left over in there, which explains how he can walk and talk. Foxy's voice, Bellora's balancing mechanics. That's why we're told about them in the blueprints. It's not just there for fun. It's to explain how Michael can be like a zombie. And yeah, it's what was I saying? It's I'm just gonna keep reading chat, but I agree absolutely. The Bellora theory is very weak. The Robot says it does have possible connections. Could be Bellora, could not be. If Bellora's literally Baby's mum, that wouldn't use her as an excuse as much, I guess. But she's just she's an oddball, and there's enough hints for a solid theory there.
Yeah. Also, if Pizzeria Simulator is anything to go by, then Baby's consciousness, it's mostly her own programming and not actually Elizabeth, because he's like, sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you even still remember that name. So I feel like her programming, which is meant to kill, to manipulate, to lure away, and to abduct, has overpowered Elizabeth's actual soul, which is why, even though she seems more aware, and she seems very aware, it's more the life energy and her own programming that keep her up. I mean, we've seen the fully functional handy unit AI working pretty much like its own personality almost.
Indeed.
Even though it is pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah, in the novels, Elizabeth, fourth closet baby, it's weird, I don't like it, but we get an explanation from the first person, from the first-hand experience of how, when someone possesses an animatronic, there are two consciousness. There is the child or whoever trapped inside, kind of not really aware and kept along for the ride, and the machine gets its own consciousness. That's why Foxy is Foxy, not Fritz. That's why Freddy is Freddy, not Gabriel. And that's why Baby and Elizabeth are separate in sister location, although by Pizza Sim, as you were saying, it's like they fuse together and everything's broken. And there are exceptions, like Springtrap. William is the only adult we've ever seen go undergo this process, and he just seems to be himself. It's all very weird. More of Cody saying she sees more from Baby's POV. Yes, kitty cats.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Maya.
Also, May.
May.
Also,
Is gone for the hallucination. Let me just catch up. Sorry. So
I was trying to catch up. That's what.
So with chat, I'm just gonna try and read everything. So yeah, Bellora. It's Baby says Bellora doesn't know how to pretend. Baby's more aware, but Bellora is more aware than the feral animals. May, I do agree with that.
Also, Baby literally says, "I'll learn to pretend," meaning that she probably isn't as alive as she makes herself out to be.
That's right, Livy. She says, you wanted to let me in, as a reference to why you hide inside your walls. William wanted to let his wife in on maybe what he was doing, what he was trying to achieve, on all of his regrets and guilts and the feelings he had. But he ultimately decided not to, and that could have been instrumental to his downfall. We don't really know.
Yeah.
And that would have been after the death of Elizabeth, who was the first of his children to be killed in an accident with his own creations, Henry's creations. It's a bit mixed up. But at this point, we've also had the missing children's incident. Yeah. Charlie.
They've already happened.
So yeah, William's already deep down this rabbit hole of he's fully set up this factory for trying to create immortal life for money, power, whatever it is, real motive is.
And I feel like in the end, anybody who kills a person and got away with it, they have to have some kind of guilt. And he's not unfeeling.
That's cringe. And like it'll reconnect fine, I'm sure, but I get anxiety. Come on, thank you.
Stream is healthy.
The stream is healthy, apparently. But yeah, that's all I was gonna say is we're live, right? Yeah.
We should be back. Hi.
Yeah. Hey. Sorry. All I was gonna say is like that was what like got me thinking when I saw in Curse of Dreadbear of all things. It does have a lot of small connections with FNaF 4, which may or may not be intentional, and it's more like UCN confirming and building on things. It's good. But Michael, the book. Wait, what book?
Which book?
There's literally a line. Wait, which book?
Yeah, there's many books.
There are many, and I don't think, unless you're talking about one of the Fazbear Fright stories, and that's. I don't want to spoil it for Lucie. She's writing an AU. We'll get to that. But yeah, Canon. Golden Freddy. So True Player, lovely to see you, mate. Thank you for joining. Why does Golden Freddy look repaired in FNaF 1 compared to his withered counterpart in FNaF 2? Unless it's to do with FNaF 2 being made after his Golden Freddy hallucination. Loads of good points,
Also, May said FNaF 2 came before, so they repaired Golden Freddy in between days. I mean, I guess, but at the same time, Golden Freddy is decommissioned. He's no longer in use.
I don't think... It's weird, alright? Because I don't know why they would keep the golden suit. They kept the old ones, but I don't know why they'd refurbish it in FNaF 1 when it's clearly never on stage.
I think in this case it's more a stylistic choice of on behalf of Scott's. Because in FNaF 1, he only had those designs set, and he had those words. You get the point. And then he made FNaF 2, in which he reworked all of them.
I think FNaF 2 is very much prequel, that's obvious, everyone knows that by now. I think Golden Freddy, either it's Cassidy's soul inside the actual Fredbear suit from Five Nights at Freddy's 4 that was Nightmare Fredbear, that was also Golden Freddy from stage 1, maybe? He possessing the suit without the endoskeleton because he died outside of it. Thank you. Guys, I'm really sorry. Why? So many connection issues today. Like, we really keep cutting in and out. I'm gonna just get my point across, so... no, hang on. Okay, Lucie, alright, work with me here. Click it. Thank you. Okay, all I was gonna say, either Golden Freddy isn't a suit anymore, and actually maybe it's like the crying child sprite from the mini games, and it's that he's a ghost and he can just he can just take on whatever form he wants. So he has the golden Freddy suit because that's where all of his like darkness and like rage is all tied up, because he was killed by the Fredbear suit by Michael, and that's like why he's restless, or part of it. But also that means he could just kind of morph and change his form into a copy of whatever the current Freddy is in FNaF 1, just because that building's haunted. Or maybe it's one of those kind of metaphysical paranormal things. In the novels there are posters which like move and change shape, and maybe it's just like that, because they are very much one and the same. It could just be a stylistic choice that isn't like a canon thing, because in UCN you have both. You have the withered Golden Freddy as the antagonist, but the secret is the FNaF 1 base with slight edits on the ears, the bow tie and hat, and possibly other things that we can't see, but then it's also Golden Freddy the Black Hat in the cutscene. I think Golden Freddy's design just shifts and changes, maybe just based on his mood. Maybe he's like, you know what, I'm feeling purple today, you know what, I'm feeling like, eyeless today. I don't know, but I think it might be that there is actually no physical suit, it's just a hallucination. I mean, how do you get the giant head in the corridor? It's got to be like, not hallucination, but a spirit who can change his form. I think that's the answer.
Yeah, possibly.
It's just very, very, very weird, but thank you for the question, it's a good question. So yeah, that's correct. May? I'm just gonna call you Kitty Cat. So yeah, Kitty Cat was right. Like baby gets a separate POV. Manpat actually did a science theory on the Chomp of 83, and the science does hold up. An animatronic jaw could crush a small boy's skull. If you don't believe me, you can go watch it for yourself. He proved it.
The math,
he did
everything.
All the maths and physics for how the pneumatics and the surface area and everything. It's possible. It's real. You said handbook.
You mean the logbook?
You mean this? Was someone looking for this? Girlfriend versus Five Nights at Freddy's, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Survival Security Logbook. Girlfriend, can get upset, needs taken care of. Book never judges you, never complains. You can just put it on a shelf and forget about it. Girlfriend, no, wait, please come back. No, I love you, please. But anyways, the survival logbook, Kitty Cat, is this what you're referring to? Because this book doesn't specify Mike's the older brother, but it has the Nightmare Fredbear drawing. It says in the front, Mike, exactly like sister location on hand unit. It says Mike, and I've written my own notes in here, so ignore that.
Man, you don't have to scream. It's okay. We'll read your question.
Please, you're making me anxious. You're like, jeez, dude. I mean, fine, talking block camps if you want, but like, jeez.
Calm down, man. It's fine.
But yeah, there's loads of secret messages in there, and the whole point, because the hidden name is Cassidy, is that it's Golden Freddy talking to his brother. I've gone over the evidence loads of times I can do it, but we should probably keep moving because we're 40 minutes in now. I'm running on the second theory. Just gonna finish checking up on chat. So,
I mean, in the end, do we really need to?
I just want to read every message or skim it.
Do we in the end really need a specific time limit for this?
No.
I mean, if we want to get to our points.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying, but I just want to keep it decently paced. But yeah. Small side note, Livy said I've apparently hit 250 subs.
I will check that.
I will address this at the end of the stream. But yeah, 250. So yeah, Kitty Cat, they planned Golden Freddy on stage, but too ambitious, has thrown back. Maybe, but that doesn't feel right because after the Chomp in '83, I feel like the whole Fredbear brand was destroyed. You only had Freddy Fazbear.
There's a completely rebrand.
Phone guy has never even heard of Fredbear's. He probably only knows it as the sister location the Springlock failures might have been at, which wouldn't have been the Chomp technically because it was already in suit mode. But no, sorry, I keep saying to it, animatronic mode, but details from me tells there's a lot of possibilities regarding that. But it's possible. Number one, number two, why would they repair him? Exactly, why would they repair him? Why would they keep him? No, Fredbear would not be preserved. I honestly think the original Fredbear would have been destroyed or sealed in one of the safe rooms that got sealed. Like, hence, just being a purely spirit form, you can change how he appears. And I don't think there's any real physical suit, although how it actually kills you in FNaF 2 is a bit unclear. Maybe it... I
think in all honesty, I don't think actually kills you in that sense. It's more that you pass out.
Yeah, and then someone else gets you and stuffs you in the other Freddy suit.
We wouldn't know.
Again, maybe it's just one of those details that doesn't need to be explained. Maybe the stream's buffering again. You better not, for God's sake. Oh my... But why? Why? There's so much lag. There's so much lag. Come on. Reconnect. Okay, well it's on red. That's better than nothing. But Jesus. The stream keeps dropping out. Like, a lot. Can you guys see us? I think. I don't know what the latency is, but I'm looking on the preview. Jeez. Okay, yeah, it's working. Sorry about the connection issues, guys. I'm just gonna quickly check everything else I missed, so yeah. I don't think they would rebrand Golden Freddy after 83.
No.
Hi baby face, lol, no hate. Yeah, of course. I thought he was saying that to you first. But then I remember, oh yeah, I'm the one who's shaved.
Yeah.
I'm a child, I am Lucie's child now.
That's weird.
That's weird. You do have mum energy, but I don't have a mummy cake.
Yeah, you better not.
You play as Michael in the games. Okay, Kitty Cat. You play as Michael in all the games except FNaF 2, which is Jeremy, and probably UCN, where you're William. Pretty sure it's always been Michael other than that.
Although
one insist location
FNaF
for sure.
3 is unclear, because in FNaF 3...
Actually, yeah.
No, it's unclear.
FNaF 3 could be Mike, Jeremy, or Henry. There's theories that work for all three, even taking everything from Pizza Sim into consideration. I like to think, geez.
No, I think that... Oh shit, yeah.
It just keeps popping on and off and on and off and on and off. Like, I don't know what else to do, guys. But yeah, it's in this book. It tells you, look at Henry and William's relationships more closely in the novels. It might give you some clues. And that's very important in Silver Eyes, which I've reread. I haven't reread the other three, but yeah, Freddy Files, most of this is stuff you would already know if you actually played the games. There's one or two things which are pretty neat. Like, honestly, it wasn't a waste of money, but like, there's nothing in there that I didn't already know, because I'm like a hardcore fan. But yeah, I'm sorry about the drops, guys. Like, save the frames. Yes, DJ. Hashtag save the frames. Sorry, there are so many things. Yeah, the handbook proves it was Mike. That's the thing. The flowers in the ivy drip are the one whole with the whole illusion discs and stuff, and that must have been because originally it would be the dream theory. I'm just gonna say, like, we're already kind of talked about our next theory, which was proving Cassidy is the bite victim. Like, that was the next one, and an Afton child, but we've already kind of covered that with all this discussion. Because FNaF 4 is the thing which is all really, you know, I will admit, something that I don't like about Scott's choices regarding this is that there is required evidence for understanding lore in the novels. That shouldn't be the case. It isn't the case with Fazbear Frights. But it happens. It kind of sucks that the music's still too loud. Thank you. No. Yes. She do be clicking though. But yeah, sorry, I'm rambling now.
Click the music in the meantime.
But yeah, I'm just reading everything in chat. Tell us if the music's improved, of course. Music is too loud. So yeah, basically, we've already mentioned a lot, but because Cassidy is the one who shouldn't have killed, because he could have lived, William pulled the plug on his life support, hence the flatline in the FNaF 4 Night 6 minigame, one day after the party, I guess. And also, like, all the hints in the logbook that Michael was the one having the nightmares, and the illusion disc explained the nightmares being real, and it was like a torture thing William did because he hates Michael, and he killed his only other relative.
Although I personally think it's part more for, you know, do these things actually work?
I mean, yeah, okay, maybe that as well.
But yeah, like, the fact that he already didn't like Michael very much didn't help in making him hesitate about it.
Subject. But that's why Mike always survives. Sister location, FNaF 2, 1, possibly 3, and Pizza Sim. Yeah. He's an expert. He's trained for this as a child.
Also, May, I get your point, but at the same time, that's his physical body. We're talking about his soul, you know, like his soul remnant. That's unaffected.
His consciousness. That's probably like a gas or something. I don't know.
Gas.
Well, the Phantom's gaseous remnant would make sense because they're not physical. Like, they're not, like, you couldn't touch them, so they're not solid. And if they were liquid, they would be like filling the floor. But if they're gas, kind of, maybe
where did the gas come from?
I don't know, man. I
really think they were hallucinations.
I don't write science, all right. But yeah, I've tried to think about the state of matter of like remnant, and it might actually be like an entirely new one, like plasma or something, which would be pretty weird. Platty Games, this is Lucie, aka Chubbs Deuce, aka Soda Mom, my girlfriend. You know what, guys? You know, it's that time of the stream. If you haven't already, please buy my merch.
What merch?
No, go support Lucie and Olivia because this is my partner, alright? Not romantic, just FNaF theory. And she seriously does some good art. If you're not convinced already, look at this page. This is AU related. Some of this is her AU.
Yeah, these are the AU shit post.
We're gonna cover in more detail at the end of the stream. But it's basically a Spring Trap Redemption arc. It's really interesting. But she does loads of good art. You know, regardless of what fandom you're in, whether it's like FNaF or Portal or nothing specific. You know, that's some Has-Been Hotel up there. Avatar, yes, Homestuck. It's all going very quickly, but you guys should seriously, Vanny interpretation, you should seriously check it out because there is so much good stuff here, and you know she's a really talented artist and my favorite human being, and a whole ass bean. And
okay, so we're being too cheesy again.
I'm just memeing. I need a drink, but yeah, absolutely smazzing. Smazzing is the word. But yes, the books. There's the Freddy Files and the logbook. So I think we're all caught up. I'm just going to keep moving. Regards to theories, guys, because we're reviewing theories and we're just saying, giving theories. We're like, aww, go support Lucie. She's so sweet and kind and talented.
Thank you.
Facts. It's not just me saying it. It's facts, alright?
Y'all, May is a fucking bean, okay?
She is, I think. I don't actually know. We've talked once on the server. But yeah, so that is sure is a thing, alright? And I'm gonna say this now, we're finishing off with theories. We are reviewing theories. We're thinking about, you know, what if this, what if that. And yeah. Cassidy, I strongly believe Cassidy Afton is the bite victim, who is Michael's younger brother, and he's honestly probably one of, if not the most important character in the whole thing, other than probably William Afton, the dad, obviously. But we'll get to that. I just realised that it's still on this. So we're gonna move on from theories and talk about headcanons. One more theory, actually. The reason someone was convicted, according to the FNaF 1 newspapers, but Purple Guy was still around in FNaF 2 as the night guard, then the day guard, and then quit the job during FNaF 2 in 87, is because in 83 or whatever year, it probably would have been several years earlier, 80, 79, 78, when the missing children's incident happened, and when Fazbear Entertainment shut down for the first time, I think it would have been Henry Emily, his old business partner from the novels, and Cassette Man from Pizza Tim, who would have been the one who was actually imprisoned until 87 when they realised they got the wrong guy, maybe sooner, depending on how the investigation went. Hence why also he's missing for so much time, and it, like, you know, he probably spends a lot of, like, he was very much aware of what happened, but he might have even suspected that William was the killer, and, you know, completely changed his feelings towards him. But the thing that he didn't know until Pizza Sim, when he, like, did the Insanity ending recording, is that this is something even worse, this madness. He's bringing the dead back to life in machines, and now they're out there, and I have to stop all of this. And it's a great story. I love the FNaF story.
Yes.
Despite everything, I love the whole arcs of the Afton family and the Emily family, and just like all the different animatronic characters we get, and all their funky designs and voices. It's great. So yeah, let's move on to headcanons, alright?
Okay.
Mike's chewing gum favor. His favoured flavour. Michael Afton's favoured flavour of chewing gum.
Because it is actually canonically proven that he has a habit of chewing gum excessively.
Yeah, chewing gum excessively. That's his bad habit, according to the logbook. So, what flavour? What do you think Mike would be
I mean,
into?
in the novel, and take this with a grain of salt, because I've only seen MatPat's video about it after somebody pointed out, hey, it's been proven that he's Michael. Words.
Bruh.
Yeah, and like in that book, in that story specifically, his favorite, like his go-to flavor of chewing gum was melon, watermelon.
Wait, watermelon? Where was this from?
It was watermelon gum. It was like in one of the Fazbear Fright stories.
Oh!
You have not watched the video.
But I've read that one.
Yeah, that's
and
the story with like the big brother, and that was like.
Oh, so you already know about that?
I know about that one because I watched Matt's theory video about it.
Okay.
I didn't want to watch it originally because I don't want to read the books just yet, because we're still writing on the AU, and I don't want, you know.
You don't want your characterization to get screwed up by this interpretation.
Because we already have like so much work put into our AU, which we're gonna come to, and I don't want new information for a canon that might change everything about it. To completely alter everything.
Which is valid. But what I will say is that after reading Step Closer, close the door. I didn't realise it was open.
Never mind.
But after reading Step Closer, Fazbear Frights 4, the first one in the volume, my views on Michael and Cassidy have changed. I think the allegory there has to be characterization from them. It's very interesting. So yeah, melon, honestly, I feel like he would want something sour rather than sweet. But then again, if we're talking about him as a zombie in canon, he's not exactly going to have gum. No, but that was during FNaF 1.
What?
The logbook's during FNaF 1, that's when he's writing it. Did he chew gum as a zombie?
No idea.
What? I mean, he must have done, that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, he was already dead by the time.
But like, you know, would he want something really sour, or really sweet, or like... Because you get watermelon, you could get strawberry. Obviously, you'd like a load of fruit, banana, apple. I feel like apple would be I don't like apple chewing gum because it's like usually the green ones are just really sweet.
Hold on.
You know, maybe he had coffee chewing gum. You know, what do you guys think?
May said she sent it to me in DMs.
Oh yeah, check Instagram maybe.
Yeah, I have. It's that weird thing. I can't.
That's weird.
Where? Ah, there it is. It's loading.
Okay, I'm just gonna catch up with chat. So, Clayberg thought Dave Miller was kind of suspicious, and then he dug up the old files. That's we get William Afton and Henry for the first time ever, and it was like, oh, Purple Guy has a name. He's a real human. But yeah, true player. Look, guys, I'm not gonna spoil some of the latest Fazbear Fright stuff because of Lucie, but there will be book spoilers. The novels, the guides, they've been out for years. You've had the chance to read them, so yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, there will be book spoilers here. They're kind of essential, unfortunately, especially the novels. But yeah, true player. Basically, there's a trilogy of novels, a whole series of short stories, a handbook, and like a guidebook. It's yeah.
the... I think this must have been Freddy file.
Oh shit. You know what? Bet I can find it in here. So hang on, that's what page is that?
The one with Henny unit on it.
Okay, well, it's going to be in the sister location.
There was.
Oh snap! The older son, Michael Afton, aka you. Now there are actually lore and theories. This book isn't written by Scott. It's approved by Scott, but the author, I don't know who the actual author is.
That is a good question.
It doesn't actually say, but it wasn't Scott. Unless he's trolling us again.
Team up Scholastic.
It was written by Loltax. Guys, so this is a book by Loltax. This is perhaps the only part of this story that seems confirmed by the game. In the final cutscene, you, the player, calls William Afton father and state your name, Michael. Remember how we saw Mike taped to the keyboard in the elevator? Also taped in the security logbook,
yep.
which is part of the FNaF 1 location. Strangely, in the 8-bit Ennard cutscene, when you come back to life, it's Circus Baby's voice, which theorists insist is your sister's voice, that seems to bring you back. Again, I can go over these theories again if I have to, but yeah, it's all part of the story that Elizabeth is in Baby. It's the consciousness of Baby rather than Elizabeth.
Yep.
Let's not get mixed up here. It's Baby who recognizes it's not the killer, it's his son, and decides maybe, oh, I'll bring him back to life. Yeah, you're welcome.
But I don't think that was it. I think it really was more with it.
Well, why did she bring him back to life?
No, but she doesn't say we're gonna bring you back. She said you won't die. Because she knows what this Cooper does.
Oh, so you think she didn't bring him back to life? It's
No,
just that he
absolutely
never
not.
died.
No, he did die. It's just that the Scooper, locked his soul into his own body, so he's kind of haunting his own corpse.
So as soon as they leave, he just automatically resumes control.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that works. I like that. I'm gonna have to rethink that. It's a bit confusing because
Also, plenty of games, he doesn't say you can't die. She says you won't die.
Yeah. So that's why you have that. Michael is obviously the older son, and sister location is his origin story in the sense that this is why we've always been playing as this character. This is why he's important. This is why he came back in FNaF 2 under a false name. This is why he plays under a semi-false name in FNaF 1, and presumably most of the other games, with the exceptions of Jeremy and whoever it was in FNaF, which I think was Henry.
Yeah. And DJ, might have been, but at the same time, FNaF 2, Freddy in Space was not canon.
Yeah, it's the same as FNaF World. Like, Loltax was the joke name Scott used, for those of you who don't know, when he uploaded the Troll FNaF World game. It's just an inside joke. I'm joking, don't stop taking everything seriously. Let's talk more headcanons. Guys. The fate of the purple car. Groundbreaking.
My headcanon is it's still rotting on the parking lot of the FNaF 1 location.
Yes, I'm glad you agree. So,
or I mean, what if there's like this whole like side gig, this whole side story of the purple car and how it gets picked up and crushed on some distant scrapyard, and it's the very same scrapyard that Scrap Baby finds her all parts on.
That would be so funny, honestly. I mean, if there was like a FNaF like TV series or movie, I wouldn't mind like just a fun callback like that. But let's get this straight, guys. William owned a purple, or at least what looked like a purple in the minigames, car.
At least a car that he was hinted at with his.
And he had it on the night he murdered Charlie, which would have been, I think, 1975-ish. And he still has it. Okay, so that's also shown in FNaF minigames. Was that the only time we saw it?
The racing game thingy in
Midnight Motorist.
Midnight Motorist, that's it.
That is what I'm talking about. It's in the FNaF 2 game where he pulls up outside Fredbear's and kills Charlie, and it's also in the secret minigame when he goes back on the same night as the game files confirm. I don't know if we ever see it afterwards. It's not in FNaF 4, but here's what I think, guys. I was thinking logically, right, he has this car quite early on. Okay. Reconnection successful. My whole face is itchy because she's been rubbing my hair on it. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, so stream can see this, everyone can see this. Hello chat, you can see this. Brilliant. As I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted, I was thinking, okay, maybe it's not likely William kept this one car for like 15 years, but that's not unheard of. The last place he went to as a living human being, a biologically normal man, was the FNaF 1 building. And I don't know where he's been around since FNaF 2, but I don't think he'll have just walked there. Now, admittedly, you know, it would seem logical that he would have ditched everything, but what if? What if he's still what if he's clung? What if he still clung onto the car? What if, with his wife gone and his family all undead or dead, the car was the only thing he had left? The Fazbear legacy had destroyed him and consumed him. Henry was out of the picture, but he still had the car, his faithful companion by his side, from beginning to end, the one that he got, you know, in a garage sale secondhand all those years ago. He drives up to the FNaF 1 parking lot, and he caresses the steering wheel one last time. William X car fanfiction.
Save me.
And he opens the door gently and says, I'll be right back. Picks up his things and leaves. But he gets spring-trapped. As we know from all the FNaF new games, he gets spring-trapped and trapped in a room for 30 years. And the car waits and waits and waits.
It catches dust and it rusts down.
It's like that thing from Steven Universe. What was her name? The amethyst dude, the freaking, I forget her name. You know the one.
Do you mean Spinel?
Spinel, that was it. It's like Spinel, sitting there for eternity. So the car waits and waits. And yeah, that's just a fun headcanon. Like, imagine, like, in a movie, like, the final panning shot after the spring trapping is off, like, outside the building. He, like, jumps outside and suddenly there's no more sound. He's sealed in, no one can hear him, it's just the rain pattering. And then you can just see, like, the purple car sitting as, like, completely alone in the parking lot. It probably would have got scrapped. It's not important, but it's a funny meme. And now I've noticed that where is he? Circus Productions, Clown Man, how you doing? Clown emoji. But just memeing, yeah. Confirmation that security breach is not delayed, which is awesome, which means, I think it's coming out this year? There was never a release date, but it should be in 2020, which means December latest, which is awesome. Like, I don't mind it coming out at Christmas. It could be like Pizza Sim all over again, that was fun. But yeah, security breach is confirmed, not delayed. Headcanons, yes. Because of Lucie, you've started latching onto William Seaman in a different light. Interesting. Lucie's very smart. She's done like really good kind of like character analysis and personality analysis, which I haven't. I've only started to really get into that because I've finally gotten to a point where I'm confident with my concrete facts, and I like to do that first. But yeah, Lucie's really, she's a lot more emotionally intelligent as well, not just because she's a girl, but because she's, you know, Lucie. And what has this turned into? Why? Yes, we ship purple guy with his car. Ah, my nose.
Sorry.
Dude.
It's literally just this thing.
Yeah, but it's plastic and it's sharp. I cut it with scissors.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna just hold your mouth shut with my hand then.
Alright, Lucie, you answer this. Best soundtrack in any FNaF game. There are a lot of contenders. Watch Your Six, Venta Black, Ice Trussophobia.
My personal favourite, to be honest.
Difficult, but people are playing.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how you see it. Personally, which is very subjectively, I really like a lot of the Sister Location DLC soundtracks. For example, there's what's it called? I think Forbidden Nocturne or something.
Yeah, that's the one with like the reel spinning in the background.
Yeah, I love that. I actually listen to that one to fall asleep too.
And it's also
really
in
nice.
like a ballad, like Belora's song.
Yes, I'm generally a sucker for
Playing with Belora when that's playing is so weird though, because it's like they're not in sync, but they're in the same beat. But yeah, I think Sister Location and the DLC particularly had a really strong soundtrack. I will admit my favourite is probably one of the ones from UCN, either Last Breath, which was just playing, or possibly Where Dreams Die. To me, like, it would be one of those two, because I like the Ultimate Custom Night vibe, because it's like Sister Location, but adapted for all of FNaF, and it gives you, it's a very deep, dramatic, echoey sound of, you know, emphasizing, you know, what the game is.
I also
And yeah, it's really awesome.
I also really like Isotrophobia.
Yeah. Of course, the menu music, iconic, classic.
And not just that, it also perfectly reflects, you know, both in the title and in how it's composed. Like William, you know, reflecting on things, and the thing he fears most is himself.
Actually, I might change my mind, because Well, as good as those soundtracks are, when I think about stuff like Watch Your Six and Nowhere to Run, they're actually really prominent. So I think honestly, Circus Productions is probably spot on with Nowhere to Run because that was unique, but it's really powerful.
Although I personally actually really prefer the credit music over Nowhere to Run.
Oh yeah.
Like Nowhere to Run is really good, but I really love the credit music because it's just such a finite feeling, like so melancholic and incomplete yet finite. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I just realized there's an ad playing. It's freaking GTA or something, Rockstar Games. Sorry fellas, I don't have ad block. I want to give the people I watch money. You can do the setting, no you can't. Maybe I'll get Streamlabs when people pester me enough for it. But I don't think he's here. And yeah, the car comes back and goes after Michaels and is angry about being abandoned, yes. I think, yeah, Venter Black kills it. I like Venter Black because it's like Watch Your Six remixed. It's like even better in my opinion.
Definitely,
I love it.
Really good.
They're really good. What's Kitty Cat saying? I wanted a haunted house for 3 years. An aftering drone. Sing Laura Sing. Semi-working spring trap that uses suit. What?
That's so cool, what the hell?
You build a spring-lock suit? Dude. Okay, I know I'm exaggerating, but that's wild. That sounds insane.
That's nuts.
I've never had like the DIY skills or like the effort and the intention to build like costumes and stuff. I follow
maybe one day when we live together we could make costumes like that. Because I really wanted to.
Fredbear and Spring Bonnie.
Yes.
Like our profile pictures, which were in the thumbnail, by the way. That's our current Discord profile pictures in the thumbnail. If you know us on Discord, you'll know. It took us a lot of time, but it worked. I wish I still had it. That's so cool, dude. The memories. I'm impressed. That's amazing. Every time MatPat releases his final FNaF theory, he always pulls an Uno. Yeah, literally. MatPat's done so many final theories, it peeves me. And yeah, we're reacting to Kitty Cat in chat. Just look at chat, true player. It wasn't actually a Springlock suit, but like, you could build a Springlock suit in real life if you invented Springlocks.
Yeah, we just have to know. I just wish there was more description on the Springlocks. I actually drew a prototype ages ago of it, like how I think it could function. Like with the actual spring and everything, but it's really tricky to actually portray that in the right way.
The only time we've actually seen them was in Sister Location on night 4 when we're inside what I believe is Funtime Chica, the out-of-service animatronic, and you can see like the circles with the lights on them that like spin. Thank you. And there was, we've had them described quite in detail in the novels, and at the start of Silver it just throws in lore for like, it just really forces the lore for no reason, but there's a flashback of Henry talking to his kids about, I could snap your finger off with this, ting, and you get like the sounds and loads of details, but still not a real design of how it works.
No visual description, which generally lacked in the novels. That really pissed me as an artist off because I could never draw any of the characters properly.
No, and let's not talk about the graphic novels.
Oh god, no.
But yeah, I think honestly it's probably simpler than people would think. It might literally be a spring with a lock, or rather a lock with a spring. No, it would be a spring with a lock, because the spring is the thing that's holding the suit in place, and when it pops out, the parts compress, which is really weird.
No, actually, the other way around. The springs, when you coil them down, they're loaded with tension, but at the same time, that coils the parts backwards. And when they get loose, that's when they pop open, and the entire thing clicks together.
I get it. It's like, guys, imagine the parts it's putting back are like an inside wall, and the space the spring is being compressed in is between that and the outside wall, like the skin of the costume, right? That's why it pops back. And then I would imagine there's just a locking mechanism on top. It's probably simpler than we think, but I'm no engineer. It would seem complicated to me. Lucie did a diagram, and I was like, dude, are you studying engineering at uni or something? This looks like some Seth Bling redstone crap. I'm exaggerating, but it was really good, really in detail. It looked like something by Da Vinci. I'm not exaggerating. The way he sketched it, because it was artistic but also scientific.
I mean, I really doubt that scientifically speaking it could actually work. I just tried to go on logic as much as I could, and that was the solution I could come up with.
Springlock suit in real life. But yeah, 6-7 feet tall, so my tall friend had to wear it. Oh yeah, no. Like, no one should be building Springlock suits in real life.
No, absolutely not.
Please, let's not make that a thing. We don't want people to die in suits. But yeah. Ooh, interesting question, Platty Games. Lucie, do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah. Do you think Scott thought of the Funtime Chica and Funtime Bonnie when making Sister Location? If so, what room do you think they're in? I don't think he did. Because again, like if this is really the allegory of the Afton family that I think it is, based on all the hints and bits and pieces we got about William Afton's family, like through the cartoon, through Elizabeth, the flashbacks, and all that jazz. I really think it's like an allegory to his family, and in that case, those two characters would have been too much. But we do know that there is like a Funtime Chica, but she is, I think, Henry's design, actually, considering that she's in Pizzeria Simulator.
Yeah, it's not clear in the game universe how much more of a technician William is, because it's not clear if he modified Henry's designs, worked with him closely, or actually built the Funtimes from scratch himself, which seems odd. But the sister location did exist as early in time that Henry may have been around to see it, but I'm still not sure. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Regardless, I think the clues are in the source code at the time, so it's not there anymore, and Pizza Sim. There is no such thing as Funtime Bonnie. That has never been hinted at. We have Bonbon, that's it, that's not a thing.
That is the Bonnie iteration.
But Funtime Chica was obviously in Pizza Sim. That was a bit strange. And we think like Henry rounded up a lot of salvages for the location and explaining all the origins of all the random tycoon characters. But regarding to Funtime Chica, first of all, this is why I think she's the Springlock suit in Nightfall. The facial structure is similar. You've got a kind of like 4-part like faceplate here, which matches the kind of beak shape and the smile and like the cut out eyes. Again, I could be wrong, but then you could say Scott might have remodeled it if you actually took a Funtime Chica model and put it on, because the source filmmaker modelers and blender models who make these things really act to the games. I don't know how they do it, they're amazing. But what I think is the real teller is the fact that in the source code there was a timetable. You guys might remember there were like private parties on the weekend, and like certain characters were out at a party during the day and certain ones were back in Mason's. Hence, Funtime Freddy had a rough day. Here's something happened to his power source. But in regards to Funtime Chica, I think she is the 5th one who is out of service. It was built up to be Enid, but Enid doesn't exist as a character. You've got the mask and the hat, but we don't even know if those were just spare parts and there was no animatronic body to go with. Enid is just a pun on Enid, and it's the name for the monstrosity that happens when they all fuse together. So the out-of-service character, if it's not Yendo, which would kind of make sense, and Yendo's a bit of a funky boy because there's really not much known about it at all, but it's...
But at the same time, he was also in the DLC that Scott specifically said is not canon.
But he was in the main game as an Easter egg, as well as Lolbit, and that's what makes him different to the Electrobab and Mini Arena 2. They are canon. But yeah, Chica, I think Funtime Chica is the suit because the out-of-service character is out of service for a reason. Baby says the suit was used, but not the way it was meant to be used, as in maybe she was in the room when William deliberately springlocked someone as part of his experiments, like an adult, which is why he picks on children, because adult remnant has some kind of different property. And again, that would explain why the suit itself is out of service, and also possibly explain the FNaF 3 tape regarding multiple at a sister location. What sister location? Does anyone remember Chica's Party World?
Then again,
just
this is like an entire separate thing. Also, I think, and this is like something Matt and I have been discussing back and forth all the freaking time, because we can't come to an agreement. Because I think the sister location itself was actually never really opened. Elizabeth, Circus Baby at some point says she was on stage once, but only once. And after that incident where she killed Elizabeth, never again. And I really think, when your child gets killed in that incident, everything closed down. Everything, absolutely everything. He scrubbed the entire project because it backfired terribly. And if he doesn't have these animatronics under the control he thought he has, then what point is there in using them at all? Because they could give him away, they could make him, suspicious, and they could, just ruin things further. That, however, is just theory and headcanon more than anything.
See, my problems with that are just some of the bits of evidence. Okay, so Hanyu may be lying or being controlled by Baby, I accept that. Also, the place they're going to perform might actually just be like an area above, because Hanyu mentions you're in a crawl space. The bits you actually crawl through are probably the performance areas, because there are stages. So rather than being transported somewhere, they are actually just being taken out, probably up. There is an elevator, there are other floors, there are probably offices and stuff in this Afton Robotics building, wherever this is, or whatever's on top of the bunker. There's gonna be something above the bunker though, like it's not just gonna be a trap door.
The FNaF 4 house.
Exactly, it's connected. But also the timetable. There's a timetable that matches up when you have to repair the animatronics in game. I think it's there to show what is happening on the nights in each game as a teaser, and why Afton Robotics liquidated so hard after Night 5, because on the weekend there were some private parties that probably would have put William in a lot of debt, and I have a whole theory regarding the end of Afton Robotics, which is actually something that I'm kind of coming on to. I know we've got this, but let's do that one last, right?
Yeah.
So like this one. So...
Wait, but first, I wanted to like really quickly address what your players say.
Of course.
First.
Let's make sure we're back. Okay, we should be back. If I just refresh this, there it is, we're back. Baba boy. Baba boy. Okay, we're back. Resuming the music. So, what you're saying? So, the pre-FNaF 2 location, that was the FNaF 1 building with the original gang. Phone Guy doesn't know Fredbear's. It's very vague on him. He's vaguely heard of the name, but he always worked at Freddy's. And although he might be one of the oldest, most experienced employees, he wasn't at the original Fredbear. So, as you were saying...
So, as I was saying, it's likely that Phone Guy specifically worked at the Freddy, Chica, Voxy, and Bonnie location. But the Fredbear and Spring Bonnie location was the sister location, and after the bite of 83, it was probably, you know, like, oh, it was a fault in the suit and not actually deliberate in any way, shape, or form. It was a spring lock failure that ended fatally, and thus they were decommissioned, because that was a rather public thing that happened. You know, it happened on a party. There were many children, there were many adults, witnesses all around who saw what happened.
Yeah.
So it's really not easy to cover that up, and really not easy to, you know, just not have any reason at all to suddenly suspend these things, which would have probably happened if a suit got destroyed or damaged during one of William's things.
And this would make sense why Fredbear was destroyed. I think that obviously the same Fredbear from FNaF 4 on the stage is Nightmare Fredbear in FNaF 4. I think that's possible. But either way, the reason we never see him again is because Golden Freddy afterwards is just a ghost, like I said before.
Idea. What if Golden Freddy, like the actual suit itself, was stored in the safe room of FNaF 2? But Spring Bonnie was stored in the safe room of FNaF 1.
There's another point. So, there's loads of things that I need to say. I'm going to try and make this as unconvoluted as possible. One, so the sister location, that's the thing. Fredbear's and Freddy's are sister locations, as well as Circus Babies, and Chica's Party World might have been its own thing at some point, which is really weird. So there's a whole bunch of different Fazbear Entertainment / Afton Robotics locations. I think the one problem is the FNaF 3 tapes deliberately hint that the Spring Bonnie suit is moved while Springlock suits are banned. So whatever that incident was, it had to have happened before the missing children's incident, and that kind of takes out the FNaF 4 bite, because that's years later. It has to be, because we have the little girl who's a fan of Circus Baby who tells us how, oh, there's like these myths around the locations that they come to life at night and they hide your body well, you'll never find them. And also, like, it just makes sense with the timeline. I also wanted to address a comment from earlier. I agree with Trooper, this is purely game mechanics, but I wish instead of the mini-music it was actually clear whether it was the Springlock suits getting you or not. It's so dumb, it probably was a click team restriction or an oversight by Scott. It frustrated me so much, but it is beatable. It's not as hard as some of the 20 modes, 94. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, the hand puppet is basically the closest thing to Funtime Body. Chica's Party World, honestly, I think that might have been a very temporary, maybe extension of Circus Babies, or maybe even just a concept, but that suit is out of surface for some reason. I think, honestly, rather than its own entire location with its own entire history, it was probably a very small side thing connected to Circus Babies. Maybe Chica's Party World was an event rather than a location.
Yeah, maybe.
And they rented out a building, like the one they used for the original Circus Babies Pizza World sounds like the FNaF 2 building to me. And I'll come to all the other questions soon, I promise. There's just a lot to say. What is it?
So, you know that one leaked teaser?
Cancelled due to leaks, yes.
What if this was the original, not Circus Babies location, but Chica's Party World? And, you know, it was a one-time event, and it went wrong, because it broke, and so they closed the entire thing down.
Maybe. I can't remember where exactly it says Circus Babies Pizza World.
I don't think it ever did. It's just like, oh yeah, there was this big event and everybody was really excited about it.
And it might have been Circus Baby was actually a side character. That's... Ooh, I'm liking this. This is creative. We might have forgotten something, but I think that could totally work. That's really interesting. I just want to address chat. So, is Lolbit a Funtime Lolbit? I think Lolbit's the same as the Ennard mask. It's probably not even a proper thing. It might be that... Okay, so just to be clear, Lolbit... has a very small chance of spawning and replacing the Enid mask on the wall in the primary control module, right?
Which might have been a hallucination, though.
It might have been a hallucination. It might just be a thing which isn't canon. If it does physically exist, it's probably just like a spare part kind of thing. Because, you know, locations always have that. FNaF 1 had like a whole bunch of Bonnie heads and stuff. You know, they should be equipped to repair the animatronics with parts they can just swap in and out. And remember all the repair stuff in Help Wanted?
Yeah.
There's probably plenty of spare parts, enough to build 2 entire animatronics, you know, with, you know, with the exception of like a missing Endo or whatever.
Yeah.
And Yendo, sorry, but
It's fine.
Yendo has a very small chance of appearing when you use the flash beacon on Night 3 instead of Funtime Foxy. So Yendo does actually appear in game, and to me, that one feels so immersive. It's less of an Easter egg, but something that's actually there. And maybe Yendo doesn't exist. Again, they could be easily explained away as being a part of Enid, and there's just another character infused with Remnant, but like maybe they're just an Easter egg, don't count for anything. It is interesting how there's an Ender with yellow eyes, kind of like Golden Freddy, and his game mechanics similar in the Custom Night, but that's not canon. I don't know. Yendo's an interesting one. That's something definitely for headcanon. And also, forgive me, Lucie, but that's another point. Kitty Cat made another point. Just want to check. I'm just going to read chat for a second. I'm reading what Platy Games is saying. Test animatronics. Again, this is possible. I'm still not sure about this, but the whole thing might have been a test. Henry wasn't there, that speech thing. He added it when Henry wasn't looking.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, this entire thing was underground, like hidden underground. It was, and it's connected to the FNaF 4 house. So I don't think that Henry actually knew until he did research. I don't know, I just don't feel like it would make sense for Henry to know, like that these characters even existed.
Yeah. Again, these are some neat headcanons Platy Games. The idea that Yendo's like a work in progress animatronic that was like ditched, and Lolbit was a pre-version of Funtime Foxy, those could really work actually.
Yeah, maybe.
Those would be interesting stories. Imagine it's like, again, if there's like some kind of, well, there is going to be a FNaF movie, but like a cinematic TV show thing. You can imagine like the scene where it goes underground, Williams hits the laboratory, it pans over like Lolbit's head and Yendo's arm, and then it's like he's building baby or something.
This is a stretch, but what if Lolbit is actually an Handy unit and it's a soul piece that's possessing it?
That would explain a bit, because Hand Unit is so broken, if Baby's not trying to manipulate him to find a way out,
Likely is.
there could be Remnant inside Hand Unit. I've always thought that's possible. And people talk about loose ends like, oh, the security tags in Pizza Sim only mention the main thing. What about the mini arenas and the Biddy Babs? I think they wouldn't have had their individual security tags. They almost seem like extensions of Baby and
Yeah, they
Barbara.
are, probably.
So I think despite the security tags only being the 3, I think any loose ends from sister location would just end up in Enid/Molten Freddy, because I think Baby being so smart and aware and careful and respectful and much nicer, honestly, at the time, as opposed to the feral scrap Baby, I think she would have made sure not to leave anyone behind, because she knows she can only pull this off with the help of the others, and she has to get their trust. And, you know,
She's a manipulator of the heart, out of the way.
yeah, she's not, like, she is a bad guy, but she's not a bad guy. But she's not like the other guys, she's a girl. And sorry, there was a really different point which I want to address because it was said much earlier. True player, that's the conclusion I came to as well. I agree with you. And yeah, thank you for presenting the theory, I really appreciate it. But Kitty Cat said, question or debate, I don't know, why did Scott make Ned Bear and such? Is there a history for them? So the mediocre melodies are a whole thing. Do you want to talk about them?
I
said a
don't
lot.
think Scott ever mentioned, like, or said why he made those. I think it might have been, like, a bit of a jab at, like, bootlegs, but FNaF bootlegs in general.
Yeah.
Or it might maybe, they're just, like, Henry's original ideas, because, like, the system location animatronics were William's original ideas, and that it was his own project, and meanwhile, Henry built the other animatronics, the Rockstar animatronics, and the
Posh Pizzeria? Or do you mean mediocre melodies?
I was going to get there, I just forgot the fucking word.
It's fine. Bilingual moment?
Yeah. JFYI, I am not natively English in any way, shape, or form. I'm German.
She's German, yeah.
So English is my second language. And you've been like a bit of a jab, or like, you know, hey, you bootleg OCs and whatnot.
I think the main thing about them, like, in the Tycoon, it was like, oh yeah, oh hang on, the stream's buffering again, it's dropped. Bet. Hang on. No? Yes? Maybe? It's buffering there, but it's no. It says offline. There we go. Okay. Let's do this again. Ugh. Give us a second. It'll reconnect. It just needs a second. Come on, come on, come on. Baba boy. Any moment now. Sorry, hang on. Oh, yeah, no, hang on. Video output low. That means we're back. We're back. Yeah, that should turn back green in a minute or two. Okay, we're good. It's weird because I'm lagging on one preview, but not on this one, so that's unusual. Sorry, all I wanted to say was I'm not going to go into detail because I already did this enough times, but the mediocre melodies, I think mainly, yeah, they are a jab at like bootlegs and stuff and nedbeds for fun. But I think they can be explained in canon. Like they were there in the Happiest Day minigame, strangely. There were kids with masks that resembled a lot of them. And I think if they ever had like their own location or anything, it wasn't central to the story. There weren't any tragedies there. It doesn't affect the consequences of like the Afton family story.
It really might have been like another sister location.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, along with the Freddy Fazbear's.
Yeah. For all we know, the Fazbear Entertainment in its prime in the late 70s, early 80s had about 10 different brands and like 50 locations spanning all of West America. Like in Day Shift at Freddy's.
Although I think that's maybe a bit excessive considering that all the tragedies that happened.
Oh yeah.
Scandals.
I'm exaggerating, but like there could be other things that we never saw which just weren't part of Michael's story. He's really the main protag, I would say. It's a bit of an ensemble thing. Elizabeth, Henry, William, they're all important, but yeah, it's Michael's story in the sense that we see it through his eyes. So yeah, really, they're like an off-brand Freddy's. Henry might have either salvaged them or built them from old blueprints for the pizzeria simulator. It depends. So... Whoops, got rid of chat there. So, what am I need to see? How many? We're back. Okay, so hopefully I'll be able to go grab the link quickly enough if they've just stayed. No, wait, I know, I've already got it here, that's fine. Come on, come on. New link. Okay. We're back. Right, I think we're good. I think everyone can see us. Say hello. We're back, boys. Oh my goodness. I'm really sorry. This is literally the worst it's ever been. I've never had a stream that's broken this much. I think the closest I came was like the Magenta way back in 2019 and it split like into 3 rather than 2. But like this stream has been dropping constantly. But the good thing is I just have both chats here, so although I've updated chat, I can still read what you guys were saying. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you for fanning me, Lucie. Guys,
it's warm here.
Yeah, Lucie's got the back packaging for Lefty's box. She's basically stolen it because it makes a really good fan, and I lost the front, so she can have it. I've got 5 more of those things. But yeah, it's frustrating. But don't worry, none is lost. I will read the rest of everything you said. Again, I don't know if everyone's here, but I'm going to go for it. So, remember... You were saying it's a pizzeria simulator about the tycoon not being canon?
Oh yeah, so basically, Henry does reveal at the end that everything has been a scheme in order to make these characters believe that they are actually in a restaurant and not just in some endless maze that they can't get out of, which it really was in the end. But I feel like, in order for this to work to the very end without anything, snitching or any suspicion, it had to seem real. It had to seem like it's a real thing to the person who's steering everything. Or else they wouldn't pull through it, probably.
Exactly, yeah.
So it was probably real, it was just all pure digital. Like, he was literally just playing a game.
Yeah, you have to take it all too literally. But yeah, maybe that would have actually been the bird's eye view on the screen. Who knows? So, knockoff Walmart brand here. Hand Unit seems like he's trying to kill you. That's just 193. He deducts your pay due to your lackluster performance of failing to die. Honestly, possible. Whether it's being controlled by...
Wait.
It's what true players do.
Is that a theory? Is that a headcanon? Like, where you got this from?
I mean, there's evidence for that, so I would say theory. Because it cuts your pay because your lackluster performance. There's no clear reason.
Then again, this entire thing is manipulated and like glitchy as fuck. We don't know what actually is happening and what isn't, because like nothing is working the way it should.
Yeah, I need to put it again just in case. Thank you. L-Chip, I don't know if there literally was a Fiesta Taco restaurant or if that's just like...
I think that's more jokey than
a bit of a joke. I mean, okay, maybe Mr. Hippo's stories are canon and he was programmed to tell them to the kids, but you know what, it doesn't matter. But yeah, good point. I get what you mean. There's lots of locations. Yeah. Maybe that was open at some point. Who knows? I think it really is just a bit of a joke on Scott's part, and a great one. But yeah, I'm sorry guys, it looks like we've got everyone back. Kitty Cat, DJ, Livy, Triplayer, Platy Games, you're all here. Thank you. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm definitely going to have to re-upload this, because this is a mess, but it happens. Sorry, Lucy. I know this has been a little stressful. So, 2 more things I want to talk about before we move on to AUs. 2 headcanons. I'm going to start with the bottom one again. So, the fate of the Faz Bunker. We were talking earlier about... Well, okay, so Faz Bunker is the day shift, Freddy's 3 name for the sister location. I call it the Faz Bunker because it's funny. But, the thing is, after sister location, there's no, in Pizza stuff, there's no real closure at any point in the timeline about what happened to the locations in FNaF 4 and sister location. You know, FNaF 1, 2, and 3 introduce us to a whole bunch of Fazbear locations, and each one opens and closes, you know, and Fazbear Frights, you know, burns to the ground. They're all pretty neatly explained. FNaF 4 gives us this house. You know, we can presume the Fredbear's location shut down, and that's the second half now. Like, you know, what happened to the Nightmare House that's connected to the bunker? You know, there was never actually any explanation for that. And in Pizza Sim, you know, obviously that's just like, that location starts and ends with like Henry refurbishing what I believe is the original Stage 01 Fredbear's Charlie Murder location, just like a square with a room. But what I believe... This is more headcanon than theory again, because there's really no evidence for it. But logically, after Ennard escaped and all of the animatronics disappeared, Afton would have completely... He would have lost his, like, source of income, basically. He wouldn't be able to pay his employees, like the technicians who got hanged.
But also, I'm sorry to interrupt, but...
Yeah?
William was the very exact person who sent Michael down there in the first place to free them.
Well... Yes and no. He was sent to free babies. I don't think Ennard was part of the plan.
I mean, of course not, but
I think he wanted her to release her soul and put her at peace.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, considering in what a state the entire thing was, I feel like it's already been abandoned by this point.
Okay, maybe. But like the point is that like the building would just be like, you can probably safely assume it would be abandoned, filled with concrete or whatever, or even considering sister locations placed in the timeline. The reason there's a new investigation of FNaF 2, if there weren't new murders there, because Lucie doesn't agree with that, and I'm surprised because that's what I thought. But maybe the reason there's a renewed investigation is because they find evidence down there in the private room ending, which isn't canon. Like they mention, you found sensitive evidence. Well, after the animatronics have all gone, you know, the business would have collapsed. William would honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he was already in debt, considering the title music's called Gradual Liquidation, and like how expensive and unstable all the tech is. But you know, they would have gone and like cleared out the room and, you know, found stuff down there, like the plush Fredbear and the screens and stuff, unless maybe he found a way to destroy it before anyone could. It's a bit weird, but I'm definitely have to think of something creative. Oh, reconnection successful. What even was the point of that? Come on. Hello? Hello? Sorry guys, the stream's being real wacky. So, yeah, as I was saying, basically I think like the house would have just been abandoned, possibly. It might still be standing by like 2023. It's such a weird thought. Sorry, I'm just taking the mouse here. But yeah, I have a few ideas on the fate of the Faz Bunker, but again, there's really no evidence, so it's pretty much headcanon. And like, it depends on what you believe about sister location as well, because we have a lot of conflicting theories. How are we doing in chat?
Fatty, the tycoon thing we literally just discussed.
Who hanged those 2 workers? Presumably, whatever was between Funtime Freddy and Funtime Foxy and Ennard. Because at that point, that's after the lore has just been scooped, but probably after those 2 have become a part of Ennard and like joined.
Also, it might have literally just been like another trick, no, another manipulative thing.
I guess
on Baby Send.
Honestly, I don't like the illusion disc that much, because having this like magic piece of technology that can explain anything not being real seems like a really cheap thing to me. It's better than the Dream Theory, but the way it's been used, such as the novels, I don't even want to think about it, DJ, because that entire half of the book made no goddamn sense. It was garbage.
Platty, we talked about this before this video online, though.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty certain.
So wait, what are you referring to? The tycoon part?
Then we're non-canon. Well, basically, to summarize for you, I think they were canon, but in the way that Michael's literally playing a video game.
Because it's a simulation, and that Henry has to keep everything airtight, so he has like Michael just do it from a computer because it's that technology's there. When in real life, what's actually happening in the room? You know, maybe they're not even like real attractions and characters. I mean, none of them actually physically exist. And all it is the rasks that, you know, imitate the child heat and sound signatures. But yeah, that's weird. The last book and the second book I have a bone to pick with. Same here, pal. They were dog shit, honestly. Okay, maybe that's harsh, but like, Jesus Christ, there's so much that just doesn't make sense and wasn't fun to read with any of them. But it's not worth getting that angry about. Grr.
It's fine, mate. It's fine. It's just fiction.
Yeah, I don't like how you need to read them for lore. I think that's the thing that peeves me the most, despite the fact Silver Eyes was actually like a solid story. Like, there was some of it which is crap, but it was a solid, rounded novel. Like, they did everyone dirty. William was weird, honestly, yeah. Like, they did William dirty. Like, the side characters were better than the main characters.
Yeah.
And, like, so much of it didn't make sense, and it was just... and let's not dwell on it. Yes, Carlton's a bean. We stand.
In all honesty, he's probably one of the only like the side characters were better than the main protagonist. Like that's just
like Marla, Lamar, and Jacob. Was it Jason?
Jason.
Don't remember their names. Who were only in Silver Eyes, apart from Carlton. You know, their arcs and their personalities were way more gripping than Jessica, John, or Charlie, who had to stick around for the entire trilogy. Honestly. He was done dirty. I mean, no, Carlton was actually written well, but I can't get I think he was done great, actually.
He went through more shit than he deserved.
He was the one who gave him Happiest Day, hiding under the table.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I don't even... I forgot their names. Anyway.
I think that we should move on.
What about this?
Yeah, so... I have a headcanon about
headcanon. Yeah. Final headcanon. If we've got headcanons, talk about that. Let's move on to AUs. Getting even looser. Lucie? Lucie.
This is literally a perfect segue to the AU itself. Why are you looking at me like that?
Keep talking.
Okay. Basically, we have a specific headcanon about how Remnant works. We have some evidence. We know that Remnant can be manipulated through energy, be it electrical energy, be it thermal energy to like free them, or be it kinetic energy to infuse it. Long neck.
Thumb that.
But yeah, I think...
Agreed, kids cat.
I think overall, Remnant is more of like a source of energy, like a source of energy than anything else, and that's why it can be infused in electronics, but not, in inanimate objects like, say, a table made out of wood. It has to be metal. It has to be an electricity-conducting material.
It's a conductive... Yeah, I think in the Scooper diagram, in the Insanity ending, it mentions a substance in like a pool, which there was a very similar thing in the fourth closet, and like after literally he takes this like syringe thing and takes it out and injects it into Funtime Freddy.
And the body that he injects it out of, it's hot, it's molten the entire time. It's a wrangled mess. And in the Scooper, it's also heated up, and
it has to be kept at a specific temperature, not too hot, not too cold, and overexposure also negates the effects. Whatever that means.
Yeah.
But it's like I think Remnant is... I don't know how it works. There's so little we know about it, and it frustrates me, but it's got to be some kind of, chemical substance generated by life forms, but somehow only, accessible after death. Something... It has to be something actually physical, which is the weirdest thing to think about.
I think it's more,
But it can be manipulated, and it's a conductor.
I think it's literally more, just balled up energy. Because the human body is powered by electricity, and is powered, because we're literally running on electricity. And yeah, I'm reading you, but like we're gonna get to that. Anyway, so like when you die, and your body stops functioning, this electricity is searching, you know, when you don't immediately move on to the afterlife, this energy is balling up, concentrating, and like detaching from the body, which is when it can be manipulated. It's not a physical thing, it's literally just energy. It can't be touched, it's not tangible, but it can be manipulated and either added to something. And also, our headcanon is that remnants, the strength in which it binds itself to things, depends on the emotional state and the amount of free will. Because if you force a soul to bind itself to a body, which is what the puppet did with the FNaF 1 animatronics and the missing children, they're not very conscious. They're very much just dependent on their emotions and on their instincts, which is why the FNaF 1 animatronics can't talk and are very animalistic in behavior and only act out on like sensory input. Hold on.
Sneezing.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, that's a mood. Bless you. And again.
Thanks.
You're going for a hat trick?
1 second. Got it. You good? Okay.
I'm good. Give me more screen time. Oh no. My source of power.
Anyway, so that's why, for example, William, who bound himself willingly to Springtrap, be it out of fear of what comes next, out of fear of like, going to hell, he bound himself willingly to Springtrap, which is why he's perfectly conscious. He can formulate words. He's able to think in a logical way, and has a lot of control over the body later on. And also why the puppet is very conscious. And you know, in the UCN, for example, she's like, the others are like animals, but I am very aware. The fact that she bound herself to the puppet was pure coincidence. William wasn't there to manipulate anything. There was no other source of energy or person that made her, so she literally chose to bind herself, and she was conscious. And I think that's what William all this time tried to achieve, like reaching that kind of level of consciousness.
Yeah.
But he never could because he was forcing it.
Forgive me, fellas. I'm slightly tired now. I just yawned. But yeah, that is... Well, like, I like to speculate on how Remnant works, because I'm not a scientist, but the bits that we got in the Insanity ending are really interesting. We know temperature effects, and we know fire frees the souls. So there's something to do with heating it up, which presumably changes its state from something liquid-like to something gas-like, maybe, or different types of plasma. And I like that idea of it literally floating up, but what that would probably mean, somehow, however this works in the FNaF universe, is that like the consciousness in this remnant substance, or whether the remnant is the conscious, I don't know, it kind of disappears. It's, you know, I don't think like a substance could just, you know, travel through dimensions and, you know, go to hell or heaven if such a thing exists in this universe. Scott's a Christian, so it would be pretty interesting if there was a literal heaven and hell, but, you know, I don't know if that's just a stupid assumption. But, you know, there's all kinds of ways it could go, and this is the fun thing about headcanon. Theories have to be strict, and you can make a really good argument, but headcanons, you can say whatever and back it up with some ideas, and it's fun.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
And that's now... We're leading to the Redemption AU that has been mentioned at the very beginning. My friend Olivia, who was also in the chat earlier today, and we at some point sat together, we're like, you know what? And William is a fucking asshole. He's a murderer. He murdered tons of children. But what if, and here's the deal breaker, you know? What if we managed to redeem him and have a happy ending? But you know, that's very naive, that's very blue-eyed, and it's very hard. And so we took it upon ourselves to try and do that, and that's exactly what AU is. I actually prepared a little summary of it.
Theories are where you work around what's canon to tell a story. Headcanons are where you expand from canon with your creativity. But what about when you go back and you rewrite canon, you change the facts and you replace it with something new? That, my friends, is an alternate universe, or an AU for short. And in this... Lucie's changed specific parts of the story. Do you want to read it out?
Yeah.
Give us a little summary. This is the Redemption AU, which I will show on screen as Lucie speaks. She has been working on with aesthetically trashy art, aka Olivia. We'll get them all up screen, and I'll show you some art because they've posted about it. Tell us about it, Lucie. What's all this?
The main deal about the AU is, first of all, it picks up on William's death, and he spends roughly 20 years in the safe room, which is enough time to sit on his rage, paranoia, and reflect on his actions. However, Henry got arrested as a suspect during the missing children incident investigations after William misled the police, but is let go roughly a year or two after due to lacking evidence. Then Michael never receives William's instructions to go to the sister location and thus lives on, unaware of its entire existence. Henry eventually takes Michael under his wing, and together they investigate everything related to the various locations and animatronics, because up to this day there's no closure. They don't know what happened to the children, they don't know what happened to William, because he just disappeared someday. Now, after the Fazbear fights fire, William comes out of it somewhat singed, but otherwise unharmed. He's clueless where to go. By now, all of his actions were practically meaningless. He's undead, so there's no recognition to be earned, no goal to achieve. He's unable to do anything because he's very immobile, and he's basically lost. He doesn't know what to do. He's also no longer as enraged and as paranoid because he already died. He experienced the worst he could. But at the same time, there's nothing more to gain. So he eventually decides to go to his old house and finds it sitting occupied by a stranger. It's Michael. And instead pays Henry a visit, because he's probably the last person that even still remembers him, if at all, and might be able to help him out of his somewhat caged stage. Now, Henry is not really happy to see him, and it's only thanks to Michael's intervention that he, instead of dismantling him on the spot, he only keeps a close eye on him, because William is not exactly posing a threat to people, but at the same time, Henry can't trust him. And
he can't be trusted.
Yeah, he can't be trusted. So, eventually, William is directly confronted with his wrongdoings and the true consequences of his actions, and he develops the wish to end it all and free the souls of those he affected. Meaning, the puppet comes in and is like, bitch, you better fucking see what you've done. Look at how these souls are suffering. This is your doing. This isn't just some experiment. This isn't just some game. You literally affected these children, their parents, their families, everything. And, you know, he has to experience all of their fears, all of what they're feeling, because we want to work a lot on the flip side, meaning, you know, the dimension where the minigames are happening, is the dimension where he's gonna meet these souls and interact with them in a level that he can bring them peace, or he can utterly destroy them, and it's his choice, and over time it has to develop, which is how we're gonna bring about his redemption. But yeah, the plot points we've changed were the time that he spends in the safe room, the fact that Michael never received the instructions to go to the sister location, and
that Henry takes him under his wing because he's released from jail after only like a year or two, right? Rather than up to 87 or whatever.
I'm honestly not sure. I've just like estimated this amount of time roughly.
I mean, here's the thing, guys. I've read what you said in chat, by the way. Bonnie's guitar, very interesting. But, you know, we can't even all agree on what is and isn't canon. It's not clear. That's the beauty of FNaF. It's such a complex, convoluted mystery. But also, this AU isn't finished. It's not, like, out yet. It's subject to change.
We're still working on it.
It's in early development. Although, with your permission, I could show them some of the photos, like the ones that we used in the thumbnail.
Sure.
So, you might want to get a good look at things. Now, I'm going to keep it on the chat screen, so that I don't accidentally show off too much. But, like, we have, like, stuff on a Discord server. Oh, the references and links. Here we go. How about I open up these in a tab,
yeah? Good idea.
So, there's a good one.
Also, just saying, if you want to ask any questions, feel free to.
Yeah, of course. Because this AU, this is a big thing. It's going to be like a full-on comic strip.
We've been planning on this for over a year.
Yes or no?
Sure.
You sure?
Yeah.
Alright, it's going.
Like we said, like a lot of these concept arts and stuff that we're about to show are still work in progress and subject to change.
Yeah.
But
there's a few.
It's roughly what we're getting at.
So, you've already seen a lot of the stuff on here. A lot of this is for the AU. For example, like this is just Lucie drawing William and Henry in a style, practicing facial expressions. You can very clearly see who's who with all the colour scheme. Absolutely wonderful. And, you know, oh look, it's Mike and Charlie. Of course, also purple and orange. The children of the main protagonist. Never thought of it that way.
At the top, you can see like roughly what we imagine Henry's and Michael's relationship to be like after, you know, Henry takes him in. Because William just kind of fucks off and disappears and tries to deal with shit on his own and doesn't care enough of Michael to take him with him.
This is part of a big picture.
Yeah, this is part of the most recent panel we worked on.
It's a really, like, the amount of detail is insane. Like, look at these. Like, Lucie even drew them as they would have been back in, you know, 77 or whatever.
Also, if you click back to the one that shows them full colour, they're all references.
Oh yeah.
The first one is a reference to open consequences being like, well, the red croco.
Oh my god, yeah, I see it.
Then we have Magic Rainbow, which is a very obvious reference, and then instead of Pac-Man, we have Pizza Man. Because you can't tell me that Fazbear Entertainment wouldn't rebrand
Like
this stuff
rip
for
off
their own
them.
use.
That would be funny, yeah. And they're all like beaten up because these are supposed to be the 3 arcade machines in the safe room from FNaF 3 that were with Springtrap the whole time. Do you think you ever got bored and tried getting them to work? But yeah, they definitely would have run out of power or disconnected from the mains. This is her drawing of Henry, which we also have right here.
Yeah, this is my interpretation of Henry. Like after all this time,
Love
because by the time William dies, he's around 40, mid 40s, and then 20 years after that. Obviously,
he's an old man.
60, 70 years old.
Yeah, he's
getting old,
vibing.
getting exhausted, and also he's depressed as fuck. So like,
I like how he's what was the old man in Up called, like Carl or something?
yeah, a little bit, Carl.
Yeah, he reminds me of Carl, which is exactly the vibe because he's very much a father figure, and yeah, he's a depressed boy, but he's also got deeply rooted values. I think very. Yeah, I don't know about how religious he is. Probably definitely lost any kind of faith after time. But he's very much. I think he's a moral guy, if anything, very moralistic. And here's some.
Yeah. So little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Little context. In our AU, Cassidy is the crying child and also Golden Freddy. And since he's really pissed at William for pulling the plug early. On his life support, even though he could have survived, he strongly believes that William is the absolute worst and does not deserve any kind of redemption whatsoever, and acts as the main villain of the AU.
Sorry. Just checking chat.
And yeah, so because Cassidy, William tried to make him possess an animatronic, to make him immortal and make him live on, but Cassidy vehemently fought against it. He did not want that at all. He wouldn't let himself be manipulated and split. Like his remnant just split into pieces. And so the last bit of remnant that is still within him is stuck to Funtime Freddy, but the rest is floating around freely. Basically, and this bit that's floating around freely is what is causing the hallucinations and can affect the flip side.
I like that. Oh yeah, the flip side. I mean, look, it's a red lake, but yeah, the flip side plays a part in this and everything.
Go back on that one.
Yeah.
Naughty children go to the consequences lake.
Yeah, she did a load of good shit posted doodles here.
Also, in our AU, Springtrap, William does not have much control over the body since he's been locked into it in an era mode for 20 years. Basically, when he died in the Springlock suit, it switched from suit mode to animatronic mode. And in animatronic mode, he's not supposed to enter the safe room in any given time. And so the system starts spazzing out because obviously he's in the safe room where he's not supposed to be.
It's off the map.
It's off the map, basically.
It can't locate itself.
Yeah, it can't locate itself, and so it freezes up, and which is why he could never leave. There was a big hole in the wall where he could have escaped through, but it was only after the Fazbear Fright employees dragged him out that he could move again. And up until that point, he didn't have to use any voice whatsoever. He couldn't talk to himself. He was only thinking. And he doesn't have any control of the voice box yet. He has to slowly develop that, and it's really difficult when you already don't have control over the body. And then I keep spamming the PB button, and it makes you black out and wake up somewhere entirely else where you didn't want to go, and have to completely work your way back to the front to ask him even any question. You don't, and he just gets more and more frustrated. Which is why he's attacking.
It's honestly kind of funny, and I can imagine it. The only reason it's really difficult for the Night Guard is because William quickly learns the layout. He's really smart and really freaking angry.
Yeah. Also, this is a shitpost because we keep calling William a rat, so he's eaten by rats, and then I called the whole picture cannibalism. Also, William was super fucking awkward as a teenager.
Oh god,
young adult.
This is like him and Henry as kids, isn't it? And teens.
Yeah, this was when he was roughly 20, went to college, university.
Asking out his future wife.
and he's trying to play it cool, but he's super awkward about things. And Henry tended to mock him a lot over it.
That would.
Yeah, they had a really good dynamic in the past. They both really understood each other, and they had similar goals, similar values in life. You're going through them faster than I can explain.
I'm just flicking through.
It's fine. Anyways, so they had a really good dynamic, and at some point, but because Henry always got more of the recognition, more of a acknowledgement for what he was doing, aside from William, who was more, in the background, more laid back, more shy. He didn't like talking to people much. He was not much of a conversationalist. He just observed and, cut in whenever necessary. Henry was a lot more optimistic. He was very friendly, very nice and easy to get along with, so people liked him a lot. He was very charming. William just kind of ended up being shoved more and more into his shadow, so anything Henry did to criticize him or mock him in any way, he started stacking up to jealousy.
And this is very much based on the characterization that we got in Silver Eyes that we couldn't ever get from the games.
Yeah, because William was described as somebody who's easy to forget, because he's very quiet.
Look at these boys. Oh man, the expressions are great. But yeah, I also wanted to, well, if you want this, we can talk about the last one.
Yeah, and the last one, that's basically just...
This may or may not be a plot point.
Yeah, maybe.
We're not sure yet.
But basically we just thought, okay, but like, how the fuck would they look around this giant-ass animatronic between the locations to research? Pickup truck it is!
Yeah, literally, they researched, like,
We actually researched what exact model.
Everything's in... But yeah, you looked up, like, the car and everything that Henry would have, like, the pickup truck. Yeah,
exact model.
It's like, this is the model. It's going to be a 2000 Chevrolet Silverado 15, I don't know. But yeah, honestly, and yeah, I'm really glad you guys are going so in-depth with this. I'm really proud of you too. Let's talk about these. So we've already gone over, like, Cassidy being the main villain, which I like.
Yep. And we also support the theory that Mrs. Afton is Ballora, and we also went off of the name of the mistress from The Immortal and the Restless, the Blood cartoon, and named her Clara Afton. She's a very, very optimistic and very sweet person. She would do anything for her family, absolutely anything. And the reason that William killed her was because after Elizabeth died, he had no idea how to convey that to her, and he had to give up his charade and actually tell her the truth. And after that, he got so paranoid that he killed her to keep her silent.
And actually, yeah, just to be clear, that's Clara right there. Same person. This is them in high school. But yeah, and I think that's really interesting because there's a lot of potential, and she's not really touched on in the games. And yeah, maybe we should also talk about these guys.
Yeah.
Which
so,
one?
Since Michael never goes to the sister location, since Michael never goes to the sister location, the Phantom animatronics are all separate and thus escape separately because they can't pull their meat suit trick. And after William dies, they don't have anybody to put them back in when they escape, and so eventually they just leave. Of course, like, over time they deteriorate, they get trashed, and depending on like what exactly is possessing them and how they're possessed, they're going to behave differently and in a different states of disrepair. In this case, we're going to work over the design some more because they're by far not the end result, but this is roughly what we're going after.
Some of them are closer than others, but yeah, I consulted Lucie about this, and yeah. Basically, it's like Scrap Baby and Martin Freddy, except they all escape separately in their original bodies. So some of them will have less replaced parts, and like they'll be more of themselves in terms of both the animatronic personality and the children within, and it's going to be really interesting. I think Ballora is honestly going to be the most interesting to me because that's like Springtrap. It's an adult, like, soul, and she's on her own. She can do pretty much what she wants, and I think she's going to be kind of like a spider with the whole spider crawl thing. Yeah. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, that is the scraps. So. Do you want to just like full screen chat?
Yeah. We're gonna catch up.
We'll take one more good look at the design. So detail subjects are changed. We've already talked about the changes, but you've basically got Freddy, and like one of the eyes is like Bonbon. I think we're keeping that because I really like that. Foxy's gonna just be like a not mangled, but just like wrecked. But Laura's obviously gonna. You can see they're using like the original parts, and Scrap Baby's probably not gonna be changed that much. Like, I can see the claws now on her stomach now. But you've kept a lot of the same design details with keeping with the sister location model. It honestly looks really good. I really like it, and I'm looking forward to seeing it in action, fully detailed in the comic. These are just doodles, guys. We ain't seen nothing yet.
Okay.
And yeah, let's take a look at chat. So something I think, again, Lucie, you should answer this because this is your you were talking about.
Yeah,
just one of many.
Let me read. When did what else?
Look what Kitty Cat said.
Does Henry and Papa ever interact? So if so, does he know it's Charlie? Again, if so, do they have a small reunion? We haven't figured out all the details yet, but Henry had a vague idea but he never wanted to believe it. He was always like, oh no, I'm just going crazy, I'm just missing her too much, oh no. You know, he refused to go crazy and refused to accept it as that. Michael did have a suspicion that this could have a more supernatural element to it, but Henry insisted, no, that can't be it. And while the puppet was telling William this entire time and making sure that he wouldn't do anything, and other than that, just keeping low, laying low, and protecting the other souls so they wouldn't, you know, get damaged more than already. And later on, they do have a reunion, and they, like, potentially, we don't know yet, they might build a voice box for her so she can actually interact with them and talk to them. We might not. I'm not sure yet. But we do think they should have a reunion. I just don't know when and how.
Yeah, it's all still being worked on. They've got some scenes written out in detail and not even like in order. And like they've had some people helping us, like like Lucie and Olivia. They've consulted me about some details. They went to a person called Milo. You talked with Misk. There were loads of people involved, a little bit, but it is their AU. I'm also just checking chat, and everyone looks like Prof. Callaghan from Big Hero 6. I don't know that very much.
He does.
Yeah. Phone Guy mentions Flipside in FNaF 1. Fredbear mentions Flipside in FNaF 1. Fredbear is Phone Guy, obviously, guys. That's a suit he got stuffed into. And yeah, like I can see you talking about your Minecraft roleplay. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy what you're doing with that. And again, yes, Kitty Cat, May as well.
May also help.
I'm really
about
happy that like you and Olivia have had so many people get your voices on. And I'm happy to host this stream and get a bit of the AU in, because it is really interesting. The idea of redeeming someone so awful and so twisted, because he's honestly a really interesting character to begin with, but like changing some of these timeline points to fit and having like an actual redemption arc. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this regarding William Afton, because I think not enough people understand like his actual motives, because they weren't explained until quite late on when people lost interest in FNaF. But DJ, if you have a question, just say it. Say it.
He did. Yeah, so that's you take place after the FNaF games. Is that the one you took? Because that does take place after the game, but there's been changes to the canon overall. Because, for example, this location happens before FNaF 3, obviously.
Mike doesn't actually
and Mike doesn't go there, so that's different. But other than that, the AU, and we're actually working on a comic. We have 6 pages done already. No, actually 7, but only 6 released. The first 6 are released. The next couple are being worked on and coming. If you want to find them, we have a Tumblr account made for this. We have
Is it in the
an
links
Instagram.
In your description or anything?
I think it is, actually. If you go to my Linktree.
Linktree, yeah.
Yep, Linktree.
So guys, this is in the description. Lucie's Instagram. You go to a.
Oh, actually, it isn't.
Linktree.
Damn, not yet. Well.
So what is Linktree? I've never seen this before.
Oh, basically, it's a program or a website that you can use for free, and because you can only add one link to your description, Linktree lets you add several, so you can click on Linktree and then you have like several.
Guys, I could totally use that. I've got like 6 different pages. Oh, Lucie, the Google Doc.
Yeah, no.
What are you looking for?
The Tumblr.
Oh damn.
Sorry if I'm kind of slow.
No, that's
typing
fine.
this. Oh shit, that's.
Hang on. Let me. Boy.
But yeah, we made a Tumblr for this. You can find more information about the AU itself and us.
Ooh, I'm gonna put this in the description, I think.
Yeah, and then we have all the pages.
Oh.
And we're gonna post them in order.
Oh, that looks so cool. It's so high quality. Like, you wouldn't even believe.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time working on this.
But yeah.
Currently, we're working more on the plot than the actual artwork, because we really want the plot to be believable and good. But yeah, we have 6 pages done so far.
Oh man. Sorry, I forgot how good it was. Guys, I'm going to put this link in chat, and it's going to go in the description as well. I am going to have to re-upload this because the stream split, but I'm just going to shove it next to there. So yeah, this is actually where you can read about redeeming. Good. Reconnection successful. Hello. I don't know what just happened. I think it should be working.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, it should be working. It's just not sure.
Hey,
there it is. Okay, so guys, stream split, yeah, but we just wanted to show off the AU. So yeah, that is that is the Redemption AU that Lucie and Olivia are writing, so go check them out. And I think I want to finish off the stream pretty soon, so if anyone wants to talk about other AUs, now's the time. Because I haven't got any myself, any headcanons, but there are some out there which are probably very interesting. True Players asked a question. Why do Phantom, Freddy and Foxy look like their withered counterparts from FNaF 2, but Phantom Chica looks like a FNaF 1 counterpart? Great question.
Good question.
So, the Phantoms, I always thought the reason that they take the forms they do is because they're playing...
I think I might explain that. Basically,
Okay.
I think what happened was that in the end, the FNaF 1 animatronics, that was the first original design that Scott did of them, and then in FNaF 2 he reworked them to make them look better, because they are the same animatronics. So I think the reason why those two look like the FNaF 2 versions is because, they just are. But in the end, when William destroys them, they're all restored. They're repaired at least a little bit. But I think by the time he actually gets to them, they've already rotten a bit down a bit more than we have seen them in FNaF 1, which is why Chica has her arms and everything, but has a different face. I don't know. It might just be stylized.
I think the reason, the problem is, my only explanation for this relies on the protagonist being Jeremy, because what the Phantoms are playing with the protagonist's mind, bringing back memories, and all the characters appear how they did in 5 Nights at Freddy's 2, except Chica, unless you include the dreams Jeremy has that use the FNaF 1 designs, because Phantom Chica's jump scare walking in from the left side of the office, it bears a lot of similarity to when you're having the dream as Freddy and you're looking left and Chica's staring right back at you with her jaw open in the same angle, and a lot of people have drawn a comparison between the two, so I think either that or there's something about Fazbear's Fright which holds maybe Remnant or some kind of collective haunting, because they don't appear with Springtrap in Pizza Sim, but they're connected, and it may be that includes all the previous locations from 1, 2 and whatever. Kitty Cat, May has an AU. There's FNaF 4 news, cool, I'll come to that.
May...
Circus Productions obviously has an AU, but it's all a work in progress.
May, your AU is very long and very complex, so I didn't... I thought about cutting in onto that, because your AU is really cool. It's just too complicated for me to summarize properly.
Wasn't it that Springtrap having
No, that's Milo.
Oh, Milo, yeah. So
May has a crossover AU of sorts, between the novel canon and the game canon.
Oh, Jesus Christ, good luck.
Yeah, that's again that's really complicated, and even I don't have a good overview on it yet.
But yeah, the Milo, another friend of ours, Milo, had a thing where, how there are characters have split personalities between the machine and the human. They did that with William and Springtrap, and obviously, it was kind of good cop, bad cop. Springtrap was kind of just vibing, and William wanted to do evil, and they obviously play off each other. I haven't read or seen anything about it, but it sounds
he's
interesting.
going off of what I told him.
True Players asks, do we even know who we players in FNaF 3? Truth is no. It could be Mike, Jeremy, or Henry. I've already
There's
said.
never been a name mentioned.
It could be a random nobody, but I don't like that one as much.
I personally don't think it's Michael, because there's hints that the person, on the phone that is calling the person we're playing has already met this person in person.
Oh,
and
yeah.
By this time Michael will have written down to the point where it's unrecognizable as a person at all.
It's like
So
we've been there before.
It can't be Michael, and it's again, the hint is there that they've met up in person, that they've talked face to face.
Again, I lean more towards Henry, but it could definitely work for Jeremy, as in Fitzgerald as well. But yeah, definitely. Again, in the sister location final cutscene, I'm going to come find you. Springtrap's already escaped Fazbear's Fright, so it's by then Mike still hasn't found him. So Mike never saw Fazbear's Fright and everything. Did my message talking about FNaF 3, lol, you were. I'm so confused.
Me too.
But yeah, Fred Guy did a series of fan games that's all counts now, because he's not Fred Guy anymore, he's Circus Productions. It's all very confusing. And yeah, I don't have an AU. I suppose H2O Productions has Fear, or FEAR, going, which is technically an AU because it's still FNaF, but it's in a different universe where, I don't know. We don't really know much about that, thinking about it.
No, I think it's an AU.
Yeah,
you did change part of it.
What is an AU?
At some point.
All the great fan games are AUs when you think about it. Candies and Rachel's and stuff, they even connect sometimes. I think Those Nights at Rachel's might have referenced Candies or something, and then there's Pop Goes, where like Bonnie did the Bite of 83, Toy Bonnie. It was interesting stuff, but
yeah. But in the end, I mean, it can be an alternate timeline or an AU. Both are essentially the same. And you did like take at one point, and from then on you change things. So it's an AU either way. It's not following canon strictly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. No, I'm not. Do I have to explain this again, guys? HO Productions is someone completely different to me. He just happens to have the exact same name, age, country of origin, interests, hobbies,
typing
and social
style.
media links and text file. It's really weird, honestly.
And typing style.
But I think that's enough for one day. I am exhausted. This has been a really interesting stream. I've not brained this hard in so long, and I'm so glad we could finish off this mini trilogy with Lucie here in person. So, if anyone's got anything else to say before we finish, say so now. Charlie, Michael, and Carlton team up. Honestly, that sounds pretty cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, This is another one of the reasons I love FNaF. You can be so creative because it's so rich with content that you don't have to delve right into, but when you do, you can do even more and more and more and more with it. It's such a ridiculous thing, and like I think the fact it's got such a convoluted lore/story is a flaw in some ways, but I think in other ways it's actually it's really good. It's so interesting because it lets you, it's like the seeds Mr. Hippo talks about. It lets you grow and use your imagination to fill in the blanks. But yeah, it was fun. Finally actually went to you, Matt and Lucie. It's always super fun. Aww. You too. You too, mate. It's a pleasure. I'll see you around, mate. It was good talking to you. Golden Freddy from FNaF was the best character in the entire series. Changed my mind. Ooh.
It's a very interesting character.
Carlton. I mean, Golden Freddy, if you believe all the theories that they are Cassidy and the Bite Victim, absolutely. They are, by the end of it in UCN, almost a worse villain than William, which is something really interesting to me. And they definitely have just, I don't know, obviously they're very mysterious, but then when you delve into it, they really are an outcast from the others, and they have a personal stake in things because it's family, and yeah. Me, pretty sure most of you already know LOL. Yeah, a lot of people have seen your games. Carlton and Michael, if they get the biggest confidence. Didn't you actually do a doodle with like Carlton and Mike? The outro. Reconnection successful? Oh, bugger. I have no idea if it's okay, it's back.
Okay. Is it back?
So confused. It says live. I think, guys, it's got a new link. Hang on. I know what I need to do. Sorry, Lucie.
It's fine.
No one's seeing this. Split again? Really?
Twice?
This has been really bad. Okay, let me, again. Oh boy, no one is watching. Give it a minute to update. This is not good. Refreshing that, so I refresh chat because it's not the same one. But okay, we split, but we're back. I'm just gonna get the URL back in here and do the outro. Fellas, I don't know who's watching this. I'm inclined to wait for you, honestly. But oh boy, that is frustrating. Hang on, the chat here is not even updating. I should be using the one on my computer. Baba boy, here we go. Here we go. DJ Circus, you're back. Hey. You're like.
Yeah, I am.
Kicking your leg.
I'm bouncing my leg.
I like to bounce my leg too. Leg bouncing is a great pastime.
It's also a great coping strategy for ADHD.
Smile. Oh boy.
Dude, stream is running.
Yeah, I know everyone can see this. I know the world can see this. But seriously, guys, I'm done. I don't know if you guys are still here, if anyone's watching. We back. I think enough people are here. Look, I'm gonna end the stream now. We've gone on for 2.5 hours. I'm exhausted. I need a pee, but it's been really good. I'm sorry for the shitty Wi-Fi. I don't know why it kept breaking and splitting. No, I have to do a proper outro. It's like I really don't know why it's starts the stream and ends it. Literally, I don't know why the connection is so bad right now. But hopefully this will never happen again. I'm streaming on a Friday. Yeah, this should work. But look, I'll say it one more time. All right, thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do leave a like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell to be notified of all the new content coming to Mr. Matt. I'm just not gonna bother with these. Everyone gets a curiosity shout out. It's too much work. Guys, check out my projects, music by Leon Riskin, the playlist, and all the social medias. You know, wait, where's the social medias tab? What the frick? I'll fix the description when I re-upload this, alright? Go support Lucie and Olivia. Those links are in the description, and these are the most important. They do amazing art, and are obviously working on this FNaF AU, all about redeeming William Afton. It's really interesting having Purple Guy go, you know, through this character transformation that's going to be made into this amazing comic. And, yeah, I mean, you've got this, like, music thing as well, I guess, that I made. But, yeah, seriously. You can also check out the Debate Direct playlist and watch the other streams that we did together. We did 2. This is the finale. This is like the part 3. Gonna add and end the madness. Lucie, do you have anything else to say before we finish?
No, not really.
Yeah. Honestly, this has been fun. I wish the stream didn't break so much, but I wanted to do one where we went over like looser, like not necessarily canon stuff, but it was fun. So yeah, expect a re-upload soon, fellas, and stay hydrated.